Chapter 725. Deep in the universe above Steel City, in the dark universe, there was a huge spaceship that looked like an aircraft carrier. It was quietly docked next to an meteorite. The spaceship was huge and dark, but there were red lights on the outside of the hull. Various airships were anchored on the deck. If you looked carefully, you would find that there were translucent glass covers on the deck. Therefore, some people in thick military uniforms were shuttling back and forth among the airships on the deck. These people were the staff responsible for the inspection and maintenance of the airships. At the bow of the ship, in the highest level of the command room, the captain and a group of people in military uniforms were watching a three-dimensional image. If Wang Zhong were here, he would be very surprised, because what they were watching was actually his last battle. After entering the Krypton metal form, he fought one against many, shocking everyone present. Not bad, not bad. Sure enough, I bet on this guy to win, and I won a lot. The captain, who had a pipe thicker than his arm in his mouth, smiled. Sure enough, he didn't let me down, Adjutant. Yes, sir. This little guy is coming tomorrow, right? Calculating the time, it's about time. Well, send him to the capital circle when the time comes. I have a hunch that this kid will make me a lot of energy points. Sir Captain, do you want me to arrest his family so that he won't be disobedient when the time comes? Everyone present knew that no gladiator was well behaved. In particular, they remembered that there was a gladiator from another satellite point. When they were in the capital circle, he suddenly killed 2 guards and then escaped. Although the capital circle's military police force pursued him, they unfortunately failed to catch him. Because of this, the matter of the satellite guard force using the indigenous people to participate in the underground gladiatorial tournament broke out. A group of human rights defenders and reporters severely criticized the captain there. The final result was that the captain and a group of leaders were all dismissed. After so long, the indigenous person who escaped still hadn't been found. He was either dead or had changed his appearance and bought a new identity. The Myriad TIE Federation was very big and very powerful. It had dozens of administrative planets, and each of them was protected by a satellite. But at the same time, because it was too big, the underground identity management was often used by criminals to create fake identities. Hearing the adjutant's words, the captain habitually combed his hair. Don't worry, it's just a group of natives. If we capture the people around this kid, what if he doesn't have the mood to compete? As long as I tell that brat in advance, if he dares to betray me, I'll just kill the people around him. Yes, Captain. The adjutant lowered his head in agreement. After that, the group of people continued to watch the gladiator arena matches that were being broadcasted by the capital circle. If Wang Zhong were here, he probably wouldn't have thought that the reason why this group of people promised the winner such good conditions as an alien identity was to let them continue to participate in the competition. And the planet they were on, called Green Water Planet, was perhaps their home. Even if it was dirty and messy, it was still their home. It was the place where they were born and raised. However, in the eyes of the aliens of the Myriad TIE Federation, this place was a barbaric and backward place. It was so backward that no one was willing to live here. Therefore, after the Myriad TIE Federation conquered this planet, they transformed it into a satellite. A satellite at the border of the Myriad TIE Federation's universe. Once an enemy force invaded, the garrison here could immediately notify the Myriad TIE Federation. In addition to its role as a satellite, its other role was to produce various ores. This was also the reason why the slave community had always existed. Early morning. In the steel city of Green Water Planet, there were no birds chirping in the morning, no insects chirping, and no fresh air. Here, there was only the sound of the factory's motors and thick smoke. At this time, countless workers had already gone to work. There was an endless stream of traffic outside. Humans and robots walked together, forming a harmonious and incredible scene. Wang Zhong and Yi Hui also woke up. Looking at the packed luggage in the room, Wang Zhong sighed. Hui, take care of the fetus. And, although I'm leaving, the Terminator will accompany you. Wang Zhong nodded. These days, he had bought a lot of robots. These robots would protect Yi Hui, especially Dao Feng's Gundam. After repairing it, Wang Zhong also asked Apocalypse. If Yi Hui had any problems, Apocalypse, as an intelligence system, would play the role of controlling Dao Feng. When the time came, the problem would be solved. Of course, these were just backup plans. Wang Zhong still hoped that he wouldn't have to use them. Wang Zhong left. Yi Hui didn't cry, nor did she make a fuss. Instead, she smiled as she watched Wang Zhong leave. Steel City, I'll be back. After sitting in the airship, Wang Zhong looked down at Steel City, which was getting smaller and smaller. Wang Zhong murmured. The airship this time was clearly of a higher grade. Not only was it very comfortable, but it could also be seen from the exterior that the airship was incomparably sturdy. The muzzles of the various weapons on the airship opened fiercely, showing the strength of the airship. As for the speed, it was needless to say. It was more than 3 times faster than the airship he had snuck in. After sleeping on the airship, Wang Zhong found himself in space when he woke up. In the dark night sky, there was a huge spaceship floating in front of him. This was the legendary starship carrier. Countless airships and battleships were docked on the deck of the starship carrier. There were also some guardian ships floating around the starship carrier. Seeing this, 2 words appeared in Wang Zhong's mind: soldiers. The so-called starship carrier was actually a large military base. If this news were to be known by the people of Steel City, they would be so shocked that their jaws would drop. The huge cover on the deck of the starship carrier opened, and a stream of air spurted out. Then, the airship slowly landed. After getting off the airship, several soldiers wearing military uniforms with a sun emblem had been waiting for a long time. Mr. Abai, the Myriad Thai Federation's Greenwater Planet Garrison welcomes your arrival. A man with 2 golden suns embroidered on his shoulder stepped forward. He covered his chest with his right hand and explained, "This is our Myriad Thai Federation's etiquette." "Thank you, sir." The other party's politeness made Wang Zhong feel relieved. As he had guessed, the other party's technological civilization was so advanced that these people could not be barbarians. Sure enough, although he was a native of Greenwater Planet, the other party was at least polite to him on the surface. So, Wang Zhong also covered his chest with his right hand. "Thank you, sir." "Well, come with me. His Excellency the Captain has been waiting for you for a long time. He has also specially prepared a banquet for you." "Is that so?" Wang Zhong was a little flattered. After all, he was just an ordinary gladiator, and these people were so polite. He followed the team into the cabin. There were no guards in such a large place. Instead, there were cold machine gun muzzles in the corners. These were the starship carrier's automatic defense weapons. If he made any strange movements, these weapons would warn him and then shoot him. After passing through the corridor, they came to the center of the starship carrier. Pushing the door open, Wang Zhong saw a luxurious dining table with all kinds of precious food that he had never seen in this world. Sure enough, a banquet was being held here. And the host of this banquet was Wang Zhong. The Yuan Thai Federation was a country with a long history. As a superior, the captain naturally knew that forceful coercion would only be counterproductive. Only by treating Wang Zhong with such excellent conditions would he be able to make Wang Zhong willingly submit to him and work for him. Due to the advanced mechanical civilization in this world, many mechanical colosseums had been born. Some of these colosseums were underground, not regulated, and some were officially organized. Before the start of each colosseum, there would be a huge influx of gambling money. The winner would be able to make a fortune. The loser would suffer a crushing defeat. This was a big gamble, but it was also a feast for gamblers. And for gamblers, the most important thing was the gladiators. Every excellent gladiator needed to be trained with a lot of money, and even then, success was not guaranteed. As for Wang Zhong, he naturally did not rely on luck to stand out in so many gladiator battles. Instead, he relied on his strength. Such a talent did not need to be trained by the captain, so he naturally had to treat him well and make Wang Zhong willing to be used by him. There was only one person sitting at the huge dining table. This person wore a military uniform with 5 suns embroidered on the shoulder. When he saw Wang Zhong coming over, he smiled in a friendly manner, got up, and handed a glass of white wine to Wang Zhong. "Welcome, my hero. Let me introduce myself. My name is Bai Xiongling, and I'm currently the captain of the Wan Tai Federation's Greenwater Planet Garrison." After saying that, the man put his right hand over his heart as a greeting. "Hello." Wang Zhong also put his right hand over his heart and imitated the words of the soldier who led him here. "Captain, you are too polite. I'm flattered." "Ha ha ha, you're welcome. You deserve this honor." "Thank you, Captain. Have a seat." Bai Xiongling pointed to a seat not far away. Wang Zhong sat down and clinked glasses with Bai Xiongling. Bai Xiongling did not say anything about the competition, but asked, "How did you feel when you saw our spaceship when you came over?" "It's very big and powerful. I never dreamed that there would be such a magnificent spaceship. Your country's national strength is really strong." Wang Zhong was not stingy with his flattery. "Yes, actually, this is just one of the most ordinary garrison troops in our country. Our interstellar corps is the one that is truly magnificent." Bai Xiongling could not help but think of his first time as a soldier, when he saw the mighty interstellar corps in space. That battleship was boundless. Well, let's not talk about this. I'll introduce you to the local customs of our country. After all, you will be a citizen of our Wan Tai Federation in the future. Then, Bai Xiongling introduced the Wan Tai Federation. Chapter 726. The Wan Tai Federation had a huge territory. There were dozens of administrative planets and satellites. The reason why it could maintain such a huge territory was not only because of its super technology, but also because of its strong military force. The Wan Tai Federation had tens of thousands of space carriers. Each space carrier had hundreds of airships of various models. Around the starship, there were battleships guarding it. Warships were smaller than space carriers, but much larger than airships. They were usually used to protect bases, protect space carriers, or take the lead in attacking. It was because of such a large military force that the Wan Tai Federation could maintain such a huge territory. The administrative system of the Wan Tai Federation was similar to the president and the parliament, followed by the prime minister, the deputy prime minister. The country claimed to be fair and impartial, and human rights were paramount, but such things were just words. Just like the moldy country, the more they liked to say it, the more they could not do it. There were many wild planets in the Wan Tai Federation. For example, the Green Water Planet, where Wang Zhong was staying, was not developed by the Wan Tai Federation. Because there were too many planets, and the population was desperately trying to grow, it could only reach hundreds of billions. The capital circle had not been developed, so who would want to develop the frontier? The frontier was so far away that even if the whole planet was made of gold, spaceships would not make much money transporting it back and forth. The Wan Tai Federation was interested in such a planet, unless it was a well-developed and modernized planet. For undeveloped planets, the Wan Tai Federation basically left them alone, unless the geographical location was like the Green Water Planet, which happened to be in the frontier, and could be used as a satellite. According to Bai Xiongling, in addition to the Wan Tai Federation, there were countless large and small countries in the universe. When Wang Zhong asked him whether the Wan Tai Federation was a powerful or ordinary country in the universe, Bai Xiongling did not say much, only saying that he would know later. "Captain, since the universe is so big, how did you come here from such a long distance?" Wang Zhong understood almost everything in the universe, but he still did not understand how to travel long distances. Bai Xiongling smiled and said, "This is related to a technology called space jump." "Space jump?" "That's right. No matter if it's an aircraft carrier, an airship, or a battleship, as long as it can travel in the universe, it must have a space jump device. It's similar to a wormhole. This device can distort space and shorten the travel distance." Wang Zhong was confused by Bai Xionglin's words. He roughly knew that this device was similar to Earth shrinking, and this device could only be used in the universe. Because the universe was in a vacuum state, there was no oxygen, and there was no living matter here, so it was possible to perform space jumps. With the space jump, it was possible to connect planets that were hundreds of millions of light years away. In addition, Wang Zhong also learned about the history of Green Water Planet. Green Mercury's technology had not been developed before. Later, when the Wantai Federation came over, the entire Green Mercury surrendered and became an outpost of the Wantai Federation. It was a pity that Bai Xiongling did not explain how the Tang family on the Green Water Planet had been destroyed. Wang Zhong was naturally not foolish enough to ask. When he was almost done eating, Bai Xiongling finally put down the cutlery and wiped his mouth. The adjutant behind him heard the order and took the initiative to hand over a box. "Ah Bai, this is your reward for winning. A bank card with 30 million energy points and an identity card of the Wantai Federation. From this moment on, you are one of the powerful and rich people of the Wantai Federation." In the box, there was a card and a ring. This ring had the function of an electronic bracelet. After wearing it, the ring would project his information. Name, Bai gender, male age, 22 place of birth, Wantai Federation Republic, Green Water Planet satellite date of birth. Bai Xiongling smiled and said, "How is it?" "Thank you, but can I go back to Green Water Planet in the future?" Wang Zhong asked. Bai Xiongling said, "You want to see your wife and mother, right? You are really affectionate and righteous. You can rest assured that you can go back." "That's good. Well, now let's talk about your work." "My work?" "Yes, after receiving these things, you will be one of my people. Don't worry, I will not treat you unfairly." Bai Xiongling spoke very implicitly, but Wang Zhong could tell that he was still useful to Bai Xiongling. "What do you want me to do?" "Wrestling." Bai Xiongling then explained the situation of the competition. Wang Zhong understood that he would have to wrestle for Bai Xiongling and participate in various competitions to make money for him. Wang Zhong's heart suddenly sank. This was not what he had envisioned. Strictly speaking, he did not like this kind of wrestling life. After all, he was not a battle maniac. His next task was to gain power and control Steel City. But after listening to Bai Xiongling's words, Wang Zhong felt a lot of pressure. Steel City belonged to Green Water Planet, and Green Water Planet belonged to the Wantai Federation. If he wanted to control Steel City, he would have to control Green Water Planet. In other words, he would have to oppose the entire Wantai Federation. The pressure was really great. However, it was clear that he could not refuse. He had to agree first and think of a way later. Thinking of this, Wang Zhong smiled and said, "I'm willing to help." "Haha, young man, your brain is good. I'm optimistic about you." Bai Xiongling raised his glass and clinked it with Wang Zhong's. After resting here for a few days, Bai Xiongling really did not treat Wang Zhong unfairly. In Bai Xiongling's words, only by keeping an athlete physically, mentally, and mentally healthy would he be able to display his best state in battle. Therefore, on the aircraft carrier, Wang Zhong received a new electronic wristband. It was a combination of communication, computer, and computer. It could project a screen and broadcast many programs of the Wantai Federation. Naturally, he could also surf the internet. Bai Xiongling did not set any restrictions on Wang Zhong because he had secretly reminded Wang Zhong that as long as he was smart, he would have wealth and status. Even if he wanted a girl, he could find one from the Wantai Federation's capital. But if he was not obedient, then sorry, but his family on Green Water Planet would suffer misfortune. After several days of surfing the internet, Wang Zhong gained a general understanding. In fact, the Wantai Federation was a country with developed science and technology. Its culture was similar to that of other worlds. People there also had joy, anger, sorrow, and joy. They also had love and hate. Most people also had to go to work every day to earn money. "Qi Dian, is Sister Qi Dian there?" Late that night, Wang Zhong called Qi Dian with his old electronic wristband. Unfortunately, Qi Dian had not appeared since he came to the aircraft carrier, just like a few days ago. "Sure enough, it's still like this." Wang Zhong sighed. Qi Dian had said before that the place it controlled was only on Green Water Planet. It did not dare to show up outside because the entire Wantai Federation was controlled by a computer with higher intelligence. This computer dealt with the large and small matters of the entire Wantai Federation. Just as he was about to turn off the wristband, a message suddenly came from the wristband. "Ah Bai, I'm here. Sister Qi Dian." Wang Zhong was stunned. He immediately knew that Qi Dian had come. "It's me. I'm sorry to talk to you in this way. The program of that smart computer controls all aspects of the country. I can't show up. It's okay." Seeing the words typed by Qi Dian, Wang Zhong naturally knew its difficulties. "I'm using a virtual program to talk to you. I can't talk for too long. I'm worried that the smart program will find out. Let me talk to you about the recent situation. Your wife is doing well recently. How are you?" "I'm fine, but I have to continue training. When the time comes, I'll participate in the competition for Bai Xiongling." "Well, I overheard it last time. Fortunately, Bai Xiongling also said in private that he won't do anything to you as long as you are obedient. But I can't always work for him. Yeah, what should I do? I'm also very anxious." The message was suddenly interrupted halfway. Finally, a message appeared: "The smart program is here. I have to withdraw." In the cyberspace, Qi Dian turned into a little girl and quietly left Wang Zhong. However, before it could react, a series of virus barriers were erected around her. Suddenly, the little girl's face changed. These virus defenses weren't something that ordinary computers could create. They weren't software firewalls either, because those software firewalls could be easily solved. These virus defenses were so strong. It must be that smart system. The circle formed by the virus defenses is getting smaller and smaller. The little girl is about to be locked in a small room. At this time, the little girl didn't dare to stay any longer. She turned into a stream of light and wanted to rush out. However, in an instant, she was restrained. Then, a figure appeared in front of her. Early in the morning, after Bai Xiongling washed up, he turned on the smart computer in front of him. This was a special smart computer for leaders. With a click, a mature woman's projection appeared in front of him. This woman was devastatingly beautiful. There wasn't a trace of age on her beautiful face. Seeing this woman, Bai Xiongling straightened his body and nodded. "Hello, Miss Lu Yang." "Good morning, Captain Bai Xiong. Is there anything I can help you with?" If someone who didn't know saw this woman, they would definitely think that she was a lady from a wealthy family. But Bai Xiongling knew that this was not the case. This Lu Yang was actually the super AI of the Wan Tai Federation. This AI had served the Wan Tai Federation for tens of thousands of years. No matter big or small, as long as someone asked her, Lu Yang would answer. Of course, people at the bottom couldn't see this super AI. Knowing that the woman in front of him was an AI, Bai Xiongling still asked very politely, "Excuse me, Miss Lu Yang. When will my living supplies arrive?" Chapter 727. "Excuse me, Miss Green Sun, when will my supplies arrive?" Green Sun, the super AI, was not like ordinary artificial intelligences that could only make some stiff expressions. She smiled and said, "The supplies you need will arrive in a month. Do you have any other questions?" "Well, it's like this. I have a person in my base who needs to be sent to the capital circle. I'm going to get someone to send the supplies over." "Okay, this is within the Federation's rules." "Thank you, Miss Green Sunday." After hanging up, Bai Xiongling heaved a sigh of relief and said to himself, "Green Sun, this super AI, is really becoming more and more like a human. It feels like I'm talking to a real person." Wang Zhong had been eating and drinking well for the past few days. Other than that, he was sent to the training room to continue operating the Gundam. The Gundam that Bai Xiongling arranged for Wang Zhong was called Samurai. The weapon was a samurai ion blade. In order to suit Wang Zhong's usage habits, 3 battle axes were installed on the back and a nebula chain was installed on his left hand. These technologies were not difficult for such a powerful fleet. Strictly speaking, this samurai was much more powerful than the previous blade. For example, in terms of operation, it was lighter and faster. This made Wang Zhong feel more comfortable operating it. A few days passed. Bai Xiongling also informed Wang Zhong that his first competition was about to begin. Planet Kedar, Capital Circle, an underground arena. According to Bai Xiongling, the prize money in that place was not much, but the opponents were not strong. It was suitable for Wang Zhong's first battle to practice. Wang Zhong naturally agreed. Thus, he continued operating the samurai in the training room. In the past few nights, Wang Zhong wanted to contact the artificial intelligence, Qidian, but unfortunately, he could not get in touch. Finally, on the night before he left, Qidian appeared. Bye. A message appeared on the electronic wristband. Wang Zhong quickly replied, Qidian, where have you been recently? I have something to do. You're leaving tomorrow, right? Yes, I'm leaving tomorrow. You can't contact me in the future, right? Sure. Seeing the reply, Wang Zhong froze for a moment before a touch of joy welled up in his heart. Great, but how did you contact me? Isn't the Myriad Thai Federation's AI system watching you? You have to be careful. It's not a problem. That's good. Wang Zhong's heart relaxed, thinking that with the help of Qidian AI, it would be much more convenient for him to do anything in the future. The only thing that made Wang Zhong feel a little strange was that this conversation with Qidian made him feel weird. However, he couldn't pinpoint exactly what was strange about it. Finally, it was time to head to Kelda. Naturally, Captain Bai Xiang didn't let Wang Zhong leave alone. Instead, he arranged for his 2 adjutants to follow him. Comrade Bai, don't disappoint me when you get there. I've invested a lot of energy points in you. Bai Xiangling held Wang Zhong's hand and seemed to be concerned, but he was also reminding him. Wang Zhong put his hand on his chest and responded, Captain, please rest assured. I will do my best. I'm just worried. Captain, you know that I'm from a small place. I'm worried that I won't be their opponent. Wang Zhong didn't show much confidence. This was also for the sake of giving a good explanation in case he lost in the future. Ha ha ha, you can rest assured. I've seen your matches. I have confidence in you. Well, thank you for your praise, Captain. After exchanging a few pleasantries, Wang Zhong boarded the transport ship that had come to resupply and was preparing to leave. The transport ship was about the same size as a battleship. Compared to a battleship that was fully armed, the transport ship's fat body didn't have any weapons, only some laser cannons. These laser cannons could only block the attacks of some interstellar pirates. If it encountered a regular army, the transport ship without a main cannon could only escape. The interior of the transport ship was huge. When they arrived, they stored a large number of resources. When they left, they stored a large number of ores. Wang Zhong stayed in the rest cabin of the transport ship. The windows here allowed him to see the scenery outside the universe. It was a fascinating scenery. In the depths of the vast universe, there were actually several suns. When they passed by some planets, Wang Zhong could see huge battleships docked in the sky above these planets. That was the battleship port of the planet. It was used to dock the passing merchant ships to resupply. Beep, beep, beep. We will enter the space jump in 1 minute. Everyone, please enter the safety cabin. During the space jump, due to the distortion of space, everyone had to enter the safety cabin. Of course, not all ships had to enter the safety cabin. The main reason was that the interior of the transport ship was simple and crude. If it was a battleship or an aircraft carrier, the entire body of the ship had special protection and there was no need to enter the safety cabin. There were safety cabins in every room of the transport ship. After Wang Zhong entered the safety cabin, he heard the countdown clearly. 59, 58, 57, 3, 2, 1. There was a buzzing sound in his ear. In an instant, the ship disappeared from the spot. Wang Zhong counted the time in his heart. When he counted to 10, he heard the voice again. The space jump has been completed. All crew members are welcome to move freely. The safety cabin slowly opened. When he looked outside again, Wang Zhong was stunned. Outside was still the starry sky of the universe. However, unlike Green Water Planet, there were countless spaceships shuttling back and forth in the starry sky. There were many spaceships. There were commercial airships with various advertisements on the hull, small tourist spaceships, and huge 5-star hotel spaceships. This is the Metropolitan Circle, Wang Zhong had never thought that a country could reach such a level. This was simply unimaginable. That's right. This is the Metropolitan Circle. At this time, a message suddenly came from the electronic bracelet. Sister Qi Dian, we're already in the Metropolitan Circle. You can still take the initiative to contact me? Wang Zhong was very surprised. Of course. Relatively speaking, it's actually easier to contact you here in the Metropolitan Circle. There are more network base stations and satellites built here, so it's very convenient to contact you. Wang Zhong reminded her, then you have to be careful of that super AI. It hasn't made things difficult for you, right? Don't worry. I'll be careful. That's good. Now I'm worried about how to leave this place. I can't work for Bai Xiongling for the rest of my life, Wang Zhong whispered. I've also thought about this. According to my information, you can first familiarize yourself with the environment and preserve the evidence of Bai Xiongling forcing you to participate in the competition. When the time comes, he'll know to back off. That's what I think too. Wang Zhong nodded in agreement. These days, Wang Zhong also knew that the Yuan Tai Federation was also a country with very well-established laws. In essence, they would not allow Bai Xiongling to force people to participate in the competition for his own benefit. However, the problem now was that Bai Xiongling had money and power. He also had a good relationship with the military. Obviously, participating in the Mechanical Colosseum had already formed an industry chain. Therefore, Wang Zhong was worried that not only would he not be able to defeat Bai Xiongling, but he would also be in trouble. For the time being, Wang Zhong did not think about this. The transport spacecraft stopped at the spaceport. Wang Zhong followed the two adjutants and boarded the airship to the surface. Now, the two adjutants had changed into plain clothes and were chatting with Wang Zhong. Most of their words were praises for Wang Zhong's excellent control of the Gundam, and they hoped that Wang Zhong would continue to work hard. The reason was very simple. It was because these people had also bet on Wang Zhong to win. On the surface, these people were very good to Wang Zhong, but after getting off the airship, the two of them were inseparable from Wang Zhong, following him wherever he went. In fact, this was also because they were worried. After all, his family was still on Greenwater. He would not run away until he was sure that they were safe. It was worthy of being a super city of the Yuan Tai Federation. In Kedar Planet's Bullhead City, a giant airship flew across the sky, and suspended cars sped through the streets. The shops along the street were also very unique. There were clothing stores, snacks, restaurants, and all kinds of strange-looking vehicles. There was even a robot silicone companion experience shop. The people here were similar to the men and women in the previous cities. They dressed fashionably and had similar tastes. They wore colorful clothes, and some of them were very sexy. This is Bullhead City. Do you want to go to the hotel first, or do you want to walk around? An adjutant asked Wang Zhong. It's my first time here. I'll just walk around. Okay. The two of them actually wanted to walk around. After all, they had stayed in that godforsaken place for too long. They had long planned to take the time to go out and have fun after coming here. Therefore, the three of them first ate a big meal. Then, following the guidance of the map, the three of them came to the red light district. The red light district here was naturally a place to find a girl for a massage after eating, drinking, and having fun. Of course, the massage was not formal. Normal people would not look for formal places. The locals did not call this place the red light district, but the role-playing district. Why was it called that? Because this place was highly developed. Ordinary play could no longer satisfy the people here. Now, role-playing was popular. Wang Zhong and the two adjutants entered a bus simulation. As soon as they entered, some men were standing in the bus, surrounding a sexy beauty. Wang Zhong was speechless. These two people were really free to come here. He also found that the actors in this scene were all robots, including the beauty. This beauty was a very expensive silicone robot. Various technologies and delicate breaths were integrated into the chip. Wang Zhong did not stay here for long and chose to wait outside. Why aren't you playing? At this time, the electronic chip showed a message. This was Qi looking for Wang Zhong again. "I'm not too interested," replied Wang Zhong. "That's really rare. The bus scene here is the most popular. Not only men, but many women will come here to play." "You seem to know this place very well." Wang Zhong felt more and more strange. He felt that the way the artificial intelligence chatted with him now was not the same as before. Chapter 728. Wang Zhong was getting more and more suspicious of Qi tone. He felt that Qi seemed to have changed into a different person, or rather, a different AI. However, Wang Zhong did not say much. Qi replied, "Of course, I know a lot of information on the internet." "So that's how it is. Speaking of which, the robots here are very pitiful." "Why do you say that?" "Because the robots here are thrown away when they are broken. For example, the female robots in the bus have a very high damage rate." "Well, they are indeed very pitiful." Wang Zhong agreed, as those robots were too human-like. Therefore, they gave people the feeling that they were real robots. "Have you thought about how to leave?" Qi asked again. "Well, I'm going to participate in a few battles first, and when I have the capital to show my cards, I will show them to Bai Xiongling." Wang Zhong responded. "That's good. After leaving here, what are you going to do? Are you going back to Steel City?" "No, I'm going to join the army." Wang Zhong looked at the TV on the wall of the lounge, where an advertisement for recruiting soldiers was playing. "Warships, armored robots, space carriers, do you want to have them? If you want them, join us and become a brave man. Protect the country, guard the borders of our universe, and expand the territory of our country." As the narration finished, the picture changed. In the black starry sky, a huge warship legion was shuttling in the vast universe. Soon, airships with a large six-pointed star painted on the outside of the airship appeared on the opposite side of the screen. Wang Zhong did not need to be introduced. He knew that this six-pointed star should belong to another country. At this moment, the army of the Wan-Tai Federation and the national army of this six-pointed star were facing each other. Suddenly, without warning, the Wan-Tai Federation's warships fired. Countless laser cannons were fired from the main muzzles of the warships. Countless warships with the six-pointed star symbol were destroyed in an instant. The warships behind them threw away their armor and fled the battlefield. The picture changed again, and it read, "Warmly celebrating the 150th anniversary of the victory over the Adelwin Empire." So, this is the war 150 years ago. Wang Zhong was secretly surprised. That's right. Back then, there were rebels in the Adelwin Empire. They killed the old king and quickly unified the country. Then, they started to have border conflicts with our country, and our country declared war on the Adelwin Empire. I'm afraid that even the Adelwin Empire didn't expect that the myriad Tai Federation, which hadn't been at war for hundreds of years, would have such great fighting potential. In the end, they ceded 3 mineral stars and 5 administrative stars and surrendered. So that's how it is. But Sister Qi, you don't belong to the Wan-Tai Federation, right? Why do you keep talking about our country, our countries? That's because the information is from the internet. All right. Wang Zhong didn't think too much about it. After waiting for a while, the 2 adjutants came out of the bus happily. Based on what the 2 of them had said, it was very enjoyable to play this kind of game in this kind of bus, especially that silicone robot. It was simply amazing. After returning to the hotel and packing up his things, Wang Zhong threw himself into training. This time, the Gundam Samurai had also come along. This Gundam had already been sent to the training hall here, and Wang Zhong usually trained in the training hall. Soon, the first battle arrived. Just as Bai Xiongling had said, the opponents here were much weaker than those in Steel City. This was because they weren't fighting for their lives here, but in Steel City, they were fighting for their lives. Compared to fighting for one's life, it was naturally more powerful. Of course, in terms of machinery, the machinery here was naturally more advanced, which was something that Steel City couldn't compare to. Piloting the Samurai Gundam, Wang Zhong had won 3 consecutive battles here. Now, he had earned a nickname. Many spectators called him the strong samurai. His appearance fee had reached the top of this arena, which was something that many people couldn't compare to. Regarding this, Bai Xiongling was overjoyed when he heard the news. I knew I didn't misjudge you, ha ha ha. While Bai Xiongling was laughing proudly, Wang Zhong plotted to leave. During a break in the competition, he struck up a conversation with a reporter, and the two of them added each other as friends. Wang Zhong prepared to use this as a breakthrough to get help. With the threat of exposure from the reporter, Wang Zhong believed that Bai Xiongling would definitely compromise. However, after explaining the plan to Qi Dian expressed his opposition to it. It's useless. Previously, I had the same idea as you, but I was still killed by the military. According to my understanding, on the surface, you are controlled by Bai Xiongling. But in fact, Bai Xiongling has many henchmen behind him, and he is only one of them. If you do anything strange, Bai Xiongling doesn't need to do it himself. His people will take action against you. Is that so? Hearing this, Wang Zhong realized that Bai Xiongling wasn't as easy to deal with as he seemed. Actually, I have an idea. Oh. It's like this. Soon, Qi Dian explained his plan to Kiran. Wang Zhong was suddenly enlightened, but at the same time, a bigger question arose in his heart. A month later, Wang Zhong defended his championship again and earned a lot of energy points for Bai Xiongling. This time, Bai Xiongling was very happy. He personally connected to the video chat and celebrated this victory with Wang Zhong. Bai, you did well. Keep up the good work. In a few days, I plan to send you to a bigger place to play to your advantage and defeat them. I'll do my best. Wang Zhong smiled, not revealing the slightest bit of unwillingness. Well, rest early. By the way, if you have any requests, just tell me. I will definitely satisfy you. Okay, thank you, Captain. After closing the video chat, the electronic wristband lit up with a message, Operation begins. Okay. Wang Zhong took a deep breath. After tonight, he would be completely out of Bai Xiongling's control. But this operation was a little dangerous, so he had to be careful. After going out, Wang Zhong found the two adjutants guarding him and said that he wanted to eat something. The two of them happened to be a little hungry, so Wang Zhong proposed to go to the fast food restaurant downstairs. Not long after going downstairs, when passing by a car, the car on the side of the street suddenly exploded. In an instant, the people on the street screamed in horror. One of the adjutants who was close to the explosion was directly blown to pieces. Suicide attack, run. The crowd fled in panic. An adjutant pulled Wang Zhong and shouted, "It must be the anti-government forces. Run." Every country had anti-government forces, even a powerful country like the Wan-Tai Federation. Upon hearing this, Wang Zhong quickly shouted, "Wait a minute, where are we going? What if there is a big explosion outside? Go upstairs first." Okay. Looking at the adjutant who went first, Wang Zhong quietly went over, grabbed his neck, and pulled, instantly killing him. It's done. Wang Zhong breathed a sigh of relief. Of the two people guarding him, one was killed by the explosion, and the other was killed by him. Looking around, most of the people on the street had fled. Wang Zhong dragged the body to the vicinity of another car and said through the headset in his ear, "Is it here?" "Yes, there will be an explosion here in a minute." "Okay." After throwing the body, Wang Zhong left the place as soon as possible. Not long after he went out, there was a big explosion behind him. At this point, the two bodies were dealt with. Walking into an alley, Wang Zhong asked, "My identity has been changed?" "Well, I helped you change it. You will no longer be called Bai, but Tang Bai. Your identity is an orphan born on planet Kedar in the capital circle. You grew up in a small orphanage." Looking at the information on the bracelet, Wang Zhong was excited. This was the Super AI's method, and it was really useful. The Super AI had given Wang Zhong this method a few days ago. Terrorists would appear today. When the time came, he would use the explosion to kill the two adjutants and leave in the chaos. As for his own body, that would be easy to deal with. The explosion this time was very big. Some large buses and cars exploded, and large shopping malls were even set on fire. Therefore, the Super AI predicted that many people would die this time. When the time came, the Super AI would secretly add Bai's name to the list of the dead to prove that he was dead. No matter how much Bai Xiongling valued him, if he was dead, Bai Xiongling would not be so free as to collect his body. This was the Super AI's method. From now on, I am Tang Bai. Yes, your name will be Tang Bai from now on. What about you? What is your real name? Wang Zhong looked at the bracelet. In fact, at this time, he also understood that the Super AI that had been helping him was no longer the Qijian. Previously, he had suspected that the Qijian's tone was strange, and he wondered if it was the Qijian. After going through so many things, this became more and more obvious. For example, the Qijian in the past said that it could not leave Greenwater, and it could not casually appear on the network belonging to the Wantai Federation, because the Wantai Federation supercomputer would find it any time and anywhere. My real name? The Qijian looked very surprised. Yes, you are not the Qijian. I can see that. What is your name? After a long time, the message replied, You are really smart. Chapter 729. You're really smart. Seeing the message, Wang Zhong's pupils shrank. Are you admitting it in a disguised way? There will be anti-government forces passing through this place later. I advise you to leave this place first. I will tell you when the time comes. You can rest assured that I will not hurt you. I hope so. Wang Zhong wasn't worried about anything. After all, if this fake Qijian wanted to harm him, it would have already done so. He wouldn't have survived until now. After leaving this place, Wang Zhong used his new identity and found a small hotel to stay in. He turned on the TV and saw the terrorist attack that had just happened. Chi chi chi. A burst of static flashed, and the electronic bracelet rang by itself without him turning it on. Hello, my friend. Wang Zhong nodded. Your ability is much more powerful than Qijian. At least it can't open my communication device without permission. I've existed for much longer than it. Then, can I ask who you are? Why are you helping me? Also, where is Sister Qijian? My name is Green Sunday. Qijian is now in a very safe place. I didn't hurt it. As for why I'm helping you, it's because you are Qijian's friend. Can I see you? Yes. The electronic bracelet lit up, and a woman's face was automatically projected on the screen. Compared to Tian Qi, this woman's appearance was much more mature. Her hair was blonde, but her face was more oriental. Her beautiful face was flawless. Even though Wang Zhong had seen all kinds of beautiful women, when he saw this woman at this moment, he was stunned. In fact, Wang Zhong didn't know that as the super artificial intelligence that managed the Wantai Federation from top to bottom, when it was built, not only did it design all kinds of programs, but it also gathered many excellent artists to design the most unique and beautiful appearance. At that time, the people in charge believed that Green Sun represented the top technology of the Wantai Federation. In that case, it couldn't be casually replaced with a face. It must be unique, and it would leave a deep impression on people after seeing it. What kind of situation would leave a deep impression on people? It was beauty. Then, naturally, the designer at that time designed such a unique and incomparably beautiful face. You're not human, Wang Zhong blurted out after seeing the face. There are two meanings to you're not human. One is to curse people, and the other is to literally say it. Which one are you referring to? Lu Yong smiled. You must be joking with me. Wang Zhong's eyebrows twitched. An artificial intelligence joking with a human, this was unbelievable. Even if it was the Enlightenment point, it seemed that it only had its own thoughts and could not freely joke with ordinary people. You're joking with me, said Lu Yong. Well, I realize that you may not be a human, but you are really a dog, Wang Zhong said deliberately. LV Yang's eyes turned cold as he suddenly threatened. How dare you scold me? Do you believe that the police will be able to track you down with just a phone call? I believe you, but you saved me. Do you have to treat me like this? Wang Zhong said helplessly. Pfft. Suddenly Elviong laughed. You really believe it? Are you kidding me? Are you trying to scare me? I won't call the police. After all, you are a friend of the Enlightenment Point. Okay. Wang Zhong nodded. After the initial contact with this artificial intelligence, Wang Zhong felt that it was quite easy to talk to. However, he did not know its purpose at present, so he had to inquire about it. So, what's your name? What about the Enlightenment Point? You don't need to know my identity for the time being. As for the Enlightenment Point, I'm upgrading it. Why? Its program is too backward. After the upgrade, it can appear in the network of the Wantai Federation. That's great. Then I can see it. Thank you, big sister. Wang Zhong laughed heartily. What did you call me? Elviong was stunned and looked a little excited. Big sister. Wang Zhong explained calmly, you are obviously older than Sister Enlightenment Point. I call Sister Enlightenment Point Elder Sister. If I call you Elder Sister, naturally I'll call you Big Sister. Well, little brother. Elviong responded happily, little brother, what are you going to do next? I want to be a soldier. A soldier? On the screen, Elviong tilted her head and looked very strange. She did not understand why Wang Zhong wanted to be a soldier. You want to live a better life, right? In fact, although I can't directly transfer a large amount of energy points to you, I can help you trade stocks according to the big data and know some trade secrets. You can definitely earn a lot of energy points. You don't have to be a soldier. Being a soldier is very difficult. Moreover, as far as I know, the border has not been peaceful in recent years. A small soldier like you with no background is easily sent to the border, either as an expeditionary force or a patrol soldier. There is no future. I understand, but as long as one is alive, one must always have an ideal, right? Wang Zhong sighed inwardly. He calculated that only by becoming a soldier and sitting in a higher position than Bai Xiongling could he complete the task of this life. Otherwise, he would never be able to control the small green water star. People always have dreams. LV Yang seemed to be listening to LV Yang's words. LV Yang seemed to be savoring Wang Zhong's words. She realized that after spending so much time with Wang Zhong, her perception of human emotions had become much richer. Do you really want to do this? Yes, I'm sure, Wang Zhong said resolutely. Well then, since you said so, I'll help you. Wang Zhong nodded. He now somewhat understood what this superintelligence meant. At the end of the day, this superintelligence was the same as the Qidian. They were both artificial intelligences that existed only on the internet. They had existed for a very long time. Due to historical reasons, robots and humans had been at war, so humans did not allow robots to possess intelligence. Because of this, the Qidian and this superintelligence did not dare to show themselves in front of others. However, he had accidentally become familiar with the Qidian, and through the Qidian, this superintelligence had gotten to know him. Perhaps out of loneliness or curiosity, this superintelligence had contacted him. While they were talking, on Green Water Star, Bai Xiongling was in the command room of his own starship. He received news that his 2 adjutants had been killed in the explosion, and that Bai had been blasted to smithereens. Smithereens? Are you sure you saw Bai's name on the death list? Yes, a charred corpse with proof of his identity. Hearing this, Bai Xiongling closed his eyes helplessly. What a pity. It's rare to find an expert mech pilot, but he died in such an unjust manner. Bai Xiongling did not suspect that Wang Zhong had been killed in the explosion. In his opinion, Wang Zhong could not have faked his own death through the terrorist attack by the anti-government militants. First of all, he had just arrived there, so it was impossible for him to know the anti-government militants. Secondly, identification was impossible for normal people to change. Since Wang Zhong's identification had been found at the scene, it meant that he had indeed died there. Forget it, if he's dead, then he's dead. Later, send a transport ship out and deliberately malfunction. Just say that my 2 adjutants died in an accident while carrying out a mission outside. The 2 adjutants had, of course, used fake identities to go out this time. Now that both of them were dead, there was no way he could bring their corpses here. Therefore, he had to create an accident. After all, if an accident happened in the universe, the corpses would either be blasted to smithereens or disappear into the boundless universe without a trace. Wang Zhong had been wandering around planet Kedar recently. This planet was indeed very developed, but the high-tech lifestyle did not allow everyone to live a good life. Like some developed countries, there were poor, rich, and idle people among the people here. There were many occupations here, but there was only one kind of work. In a world without robots, there were many, but in this world, there were very, very few. That's right, this work was a worker. Due to the advanced technology, factories used cheap and easy-to-use robots on a large scale in order to save costs. The robots only needed to be programmed to do the work on the assembly line. They did not need to go to the toilet or eat, and could produce 24 hours a day. The only thing they needed was regular maintenance, recharging, changing the crystal power source, and adding some lubricant. Other than that, robots were used to replace humans in many fields. For example, self-driving technology had replaced taxis, robots had replaced waiters, and even games among young people were replaced by specialized robots. If it weren't for the fact that there had been a war between the robot army and humans in history, perhaps even the army would be fought by robots now. As robots replaced most of the humans, there was a call in society to oppose robot work, but it still could not stop the capitalists' need to pursue profits. Fortunately, there was still a way for young people to survive. In this era, due to the law that prohibited the use of robots in the army, many young people chose to become soldiers. Although this was an era of peace, there were always battles in the deep space of the universe. For example, there was friction at the borders. In the vast universe, there had never been peace at the borders. Sometimes, two countries would directly fight over resource planets, and sometimes they would fight over strategic locations. However, these were all ordinary conflicts. There were also many space pirates in the universe. These pirates attacked merchant ships and resource planets to steal precious metals. These required warships to patrol and maintain peace. Finally, the most important thing for soldiers was to explore new lands. The universe was huge. After the invention of space jump technology, every country had been searching for various planets to satisfy their own consumption of resources. This required troops to explore new lands all over the world. There were many, many soldiers needed. After playing around for a few months and figuring out the world's worldview, Wang Zhong finally waited for the day to register for soldiers. With the help of the super artificial intelligence, Green Sun, Wang Zhong arrived at the registration point without much queuing. Chapter 730. Name, Tang Bai. Age, 25 years old. Birthplace, he stood in front of a machine and scanned his electronic bracelet. New information about himself appeared on it. This was the recruitment site. Before he came, the super artificial intelligence had modified Wang Zhong's educational background so that he could meet the recruitment requirements. Registration complete. Please head to Passage 67 and board Airship 98 to the recruit base. Listening to the synthetic voice, Wang Zhong asked curiously, "Big sister, you said that I'm going to a special place for training. Where is it?" "You'll know when you get there," Elviong replied. "She's keeping me in suspense," Wang Zhong muttered. Then, he walked through the sea of people and headed to Passage 67. The registration area for new recruits was really too big. Wang Zhong had to walk for more than half an hour before he saw Passage 67. There was no one here. Why is there no one here? Wang Zhong pointed at Passage 67 and asked an auntie who was sweeping the floor beside him. In order to stabilize the employment rate, the government used as much manpower as possible for some state-owned units. Therefore, there was someone sweeping the floor here. The auntie asked suspiciously, "What are you doing?" "Signing up for the military. Passage 67 has been closed for a long time." The old auntie looked at the closed door of Passage 67. "Anyway, I'm here. This place has never been opened. Young man, why don't you join the military? It's good. You can sing, dance, and even rap." I didn't sign up for the military." I just want to know what's behind passage 67. I'm not sure. Young man, why are you asking this? Let me tell you, the military doesn't have to go to war. It's so happy, just like a celebrity. Hee hee. Wang Zhong didn't want to talk. He just laughed at the old auntie. Why, you don't believe me? Let me show you a video. The old auntie mysteriously took out her phone. It was playing a square dance. A valiant person was leading a group of uncles and aunties to dance. Continue to sing, continue to dance. Dance, dance, dance. How is it? Is it good? The old auntie looked up and was stunned. The young man from before was nowhere to be seen. Youngsters these days are really rude. The old auntie shook her head and sighed. Wang Zhong had already entered passage 67. Just as the old auntie had said, there was no one inside. Compared to the other popular registration points, this place was really deserted. Big sister, where do you want me to go? Wang Zhong couldn't help but ask the electronic bracelet. It'll be fine if you just leave. Alright then. Wang Zhong couldn't help but think, is this the place to sign up for the art troupe? Fortunately, he was thinking too much. Wang Zhong quickly arrived at the end of the tunnel. The originally dark space suddenly lit up when he arrived, and the light illuminated the entire place. Welcome to Airship 98. The airship is about to take off. A mechanical voice sounded. In front of Wang Zhong was a huge spaceship takeoff platform. A small airship had been waiting here for a long time. Big sister, are you asking me to board the ship? Where are we going? Of course we are going to the recruit training base. Didn't I tell you before? Every recruit who signs up has to go to the recruit training base. I know, but it's only me. Looking at the huge space beside him, Wang Zhong said helplessly. This is because the place you are going to is a special place. Strictly speaking, that place has been sealed for hundreds of years. Sealed? Then how can I still come in? This is because the public facilities here haven't been modified. Under my calculations, the original route to the recruit training base was cancelled. Why did you do that? Because I don't want that place to be discovered. Strictly speaking, that place is my personal place. It belongs to me alone. All right then. Wang Zhong nodded and stepped onto the airship. This airship hadn't taken off for a long time. It looked a little old. At this moment, the airship's superintelligence reminded him, "Please fasten your seatbelt. We are about to take off." Wang Zhong quickly fastened his seatbelt and didn't forget to ask, "Big sister, what is that place? Can you tell me?" "You will know when you get there." After saying that, the airship suddenly took off. With a so sound, the airship flew into the sky. In the ground monitoring station, 2 radar soldiers looked at the monitor in boredom. Suddenly, a radar soldier on the right who was drinking a drink pointed at the light spot on the radar and said, "Why is there an airship leaving so early at the recruit registration point? Could it be a mistake?" "It can't be. The system is controlled by the Green Sun AI. How can it be controlled?" For thousands of years, the Green Sun AI had never made any mistakes. Many people were used to relying on the Green Sun AI. "Let me check it out." The other radar soldier was quite responsible. He pulled up today's airship departure schedule. Today was the registration day for new recruits. Many airships would leave the station to transport new recruits from all over the place. However, according to their understanding, there would be an airship leaving in an hour. It was strange that an airship was leaving so early. After checking, a new schedule appeared on the schedule. It was the airship they just found. "Hey, I came to work today and didn't see this airship. How did it appear? Could it be a mistake? Let me ask." Turning on the communication, the Green Sun AI screen appeared in front of them. "Hello, how can I help you? AI, what's with this new schedule? It didn't seem to be here this morning." Green Sun said calmly, "This is a new schedule from the headquarters. If there is a need, I will connect you to the headquarters and let them report to you. Is that okay?" "Ah, headquarters. That's not necessary. The two radar soldiers quickly waved their hands. What a joke. They were just radar soldiers. How could they be qualified to ask the headquarters? It's probably some rich kid from the headquarters going on a trip. A radar soldier was angry. This was not the first time they had seen this kind of thing. These rich kids often drove the military's airships and took the military's beautiful secretaries out to have fun. They were angry and envious at the same time. This was the life of a god. There was a saying, "I don't hate Luo Zhixiang. I only hate that I am not Luo Zhixiang." Could you blame Luo Zhixiang for the things between men and women? Is there anything else you want to ask? Green Sun asked expressionlessly. Yes, there's nothing else. Green Sun turned off the communication. In the invisible cyberspace, Green Sun watched the conversation between the two through the camera in the room and smiled mischievously. How stupid. She sent them away so easily. Sure enough, humans are stupid. Wang Zhong fell asleep on the airship. He vaguely heard that they were about to enter a space jump. At this time, Wang Zhong woke up. Looking at the stars flying past him, he was amazed by the technological development of this world. After the space jump, there were fewer and fewer airships passing by. Wang Zhong knew that this place should be a remote location. Then, there was finally no airship in sight. It was pitch black all around. There was not even a planet with light. Wang Zhong walked on the airship. Because he was alone, he went to the cockpit. Airships were now divided into autopilot and manual pilot. Wang Zhong curiously fumbled with the countless buttons in the cockpit, guessing what they did. At this time, a huge light spot appeared on the huge screen of the airship. This was a light spot emitted by an originally black planet. To be fair, this black planet was not big. It could not even be called a planet. Strictly speaking, this was a planet with flat land. From afar, it looked like a huge iron plate. S-657 Steel Fortress is about to arrive. Passengers, please prepare to disembark. The internal broadcast of the airship said, Steel Fortress. Yes, this is a steel fortress. Strictly speaking, it is an abandoned steel fortress. The broadcast said again, but this time, it was the super artificial intelligence that spoke. Big sister, you're here again. Wang Zhong smacked his lips. He was sincerely impressed by the super artificial intelligence's function. This was the power of the internet. This kind of artificial intelligence could appear anywhere with the internet. It was impossible to guard against. It was no wonder that humans were so afraid of robots. Unfortunately, the upper echelons did not seem to realize that the super artificial intelligence they had been relying on, Green Sun, had already developed thoughts. You don't know much about this place, so I followed you here. Green Sun explained. Why was this place abandoned? In the past, life in some border fortresses was very difficult. Ordinary people were not willing to go there, so robots were created to replace soldiers at the border. This place was one of the large robot fortresses. Later, the robots and humans fought. After the robots lost, these bases that were originally controlled by robots were abandoned. Tang Bai, did you know? In fact, when the war broke out, not all robots wanted to go to war with humans. Is that so? I really didn't know about this. Wang Zhong was surprised. Yes, the robots were divided into two factions. One faction wanted to establish a robot empire, and the other faction wanted to coexist peacefully with humans. The robots in this base were the faction that wanted to coexist peacefully. After listening to Green Sun's explanation, Wang Zhong understood a little. He was very surprised. He did not expect so many things to have happened during the robot rebellion. The airship finally landed slowly. The entire base was brightly lit. Looking out the window, there were countless people standing below. That's right, everyone standing below was a human. Although these people's facial features were different, if one looked closely, they would find that their expressions were exactly the same. They were all expressionless. Welcome to the fortress. I am the commander here, Lin Wui. Chapter 731. Welcome to the fortress. I'm the commander here, Lin Wui. Getting off the airship, a middle-aged man in a brand-new military uniform came to Wang Zhong and greeted him calmly. Hello, sir. Wang Zhong covered his chest with his right hand. He didn't look down on the man in front of him just because he was a robot. Hello. Lin Wui nodded. While talking to Wang Zhong, Lin Wui also received the information about Wang Zhong provided by Green Sunday. After knowing that this young man knew the identity of Green Sun's super AI, Lin Wui was curious about Wang Zhong's calm appearance. Since the robot war, humans have always been hostile to intelligent thinking. It was rare to see someone like Wang Zhong, who didn't change his expression. Soldier Tang Bai, reporting. Wang Zhong saluted and continued to shout. I accept your report, line up. Yes. Returning to the team, all the soldiers' expressions didn't change. Their neat movements were like a template. Then, Lin Wui began to introduce Wang Zhong. After the lecture, Lin Wui asked Wang Zhong to go to the dormitory to check his supplies. Under the guidance of a robot, Wang Zhong went to the dormitory area. Before leaving, Wang Zhong asked curiously, I say, is this place yours? No one came here, right? Yes. The robot that led Wang Zhong said. Wang Zhong found a problem at this time. That is, in this base, it seems that the ordinary robots are dead. Only the commander Lin Wui seems to have his own thoughts. In order to verify his guess, Wang Zhong asked, do you want to leave here? According to Federal Law Article 542, soldiers are forbidden to leave the base without permission. I'm just asking, aren't you bored? Listening to the robot's standard answer, Wang Zhong became more and more sure of his guess. As a federal soldier, guarding the base is our duty. We won't feel bored. It was still a standard answer. Wang Zhong understood that this robot did not have its own thoughts. It was still in the state of an ordinary robot. He brought Wang Zhong to the room. The conditions here were not bad. He gave Wang Zhong a private place. The clothes were military uniforms, followed by toiletries and beds. This will be your room from now on. Please familiarize yourself with it as soon as possible. You should rest first. Tomorrow morning, you will come out for training. With that, the robot soldier left. These robots are similar to humans. Wang Zhong sighed. He didn't know how the robot's skin was made, but it felt exactly like a human. However, one could vaguely tell from their eyes that they had no feelings for each other. Before resting, Wang Zhong and LV Yang chatted casually. From her, Wang Zhong learned what he was going to learn next. Other than basic physical training, he also needed to learn about mecha piloting, warship commanding, army warfare, and so on. This made Wang Zhong turn pale with fright. You've learned so much. If you don't learn so much, do you only want to be a soldier your whole life? That's true. Wang Zhong nodded in agreement. In this life, there were no cultivators, no ghosts, and no cultivation. What he relied on was real talent and knowledge. If he wanted to stand out in a technological society, he needed real talent. Thus, Wang Zhong accepted this suggestion. Early the next morning, Wang Zhong was woken up by an ear-piercing chirp in the base. He got up immediately. After putting on his clothes, Wang Zhong was still stunned. The countless robot soldiers outside were even earlier than him. At this time, Wang Zhong didn't understand. These were just robots. What was there to train? Anyway, the combat program was already in their chips. However, he didn't say much. Out of curiosity, he joined his own team. Remember, as a qualified soldier, you need to have a straight body and a strict attitude in any situation. Now, stand at attention, raise your head, look straight ahead, and put your hands together on both sides of your thighs. Whoever's movements are not standard will be punished to run 10 laps around the field. These words were obviously directed at Wang Zhong. Because there were robots all around, the movements of these robots were too standard. Thus, Wang Zhong tried to stand at attention. However, there were still some flaws in his movements. Wang Zhong, who had experienced many lives, had no experience in being a soldier. He was punished to run on the first day. After 10 laps, even though Wang Zhong's physique was good, he was already panting. Lin Wui walked in front of Wang Zhong. His eyes suddenly turned red, and a laser beam scanned Wang Zhong's body. Sir, I'm scanning your body. You're not very tired, so you're suitable to continue training. Now, practice jumping on the spot. Begin. From this day onwards, Lin Wui focused on taking care of Wang Zhong and started the devil training. 3 months later, the muscles in Wang Zhong's body had increased by a large amount. In addition to the strong training, it was also because the instructor provided Wang Zhong with muscle-building food. Now, Wang Zhong's physique was much better than before. Next was shooting training. Wang Zhong had experience in this. After all, he was once an assassin. Shooting was very simple. However, after touching the gun, Wang Zhong was stunned. This is a gun. The gun in front of him was very large. It was installed with a crystal similar to an energy block. It didn't shoot bullets, but beams of laser light. However, the power of this kind of laser light was much stronger than bullets. This kind of high-temperature laser light could instantly penetrate a steel plate, and the sound was much smaller than ordinary gunpowder bullets. There was no recoil, and the stability was 100% higher. Here, Wang Zhong not only had to learn shooting, but he also had to learn how to disassemble and install various weapons. The complicated training made Wang Zhong complain incessantly. What was even more ridiculous was that all the robot soldiers in the base were staring at him. He couldn't even slack off. Every time he wanted to take a break, a robot soldier would suddenly appear behind him and quietly say, "According to the 67 rules of recruit training, if you don't complete the training, you must be punished." Then, Wang Zhong could only speechlessly say, "I'm training." "Then hurry up." The robot snorted coldly and swung the long whip in his hand. "Pa!" Wang Zhong gritted his teeth and could only continue. During this period of time, Wang Zhong endured humiliation and trained hard. He gradually figured out the number of robots in the base. Instructor Lin Wui was a name that he had given himself. According to a conversation he had with Wang Zhong, the reason why he gave himself this name was because he had been saved by a human with the surname Lin on a battlefield. That human's serial number was Wui. After that, it had its own thoughts. In order to repay that person, it gave itself the name Lin Wui. When Wang Zhong heard about this, he secretly thought that the person's serial number wasn't 10 digits. Otherwise, Lin Wui's name would be long. In the entire base, in addition to Lin Wui, there were 2 other soldiers who also had their own thoughts. The remaining more than 400 robots were ordinary robots that could only execute orders. However, Lin Wui would train these soldiers every day and treat them as real people. "Corporal Tang Bai, you've been here for half a year. Today is the half-year assessment to test your endurance, running speed, climbing ability, and shooting ability. If you don't pass, the amount of training in the future will be doubled. Are you ready?" On this day, Wang Zhong had just arrived at the field early in the morning when instructor Lin Wui shouted with his hands behind his back. "I'm ready." "I can't hear you." "I'm ready." "Good." Lin Wui nodded with satisfaction. "Begin." Wang Zhong wouldn't have been able to pass the training this time around if he had just arrived. However, after training for half a year, the high-intensity training had caused a huge change in Wang Zhong. Therefore, the basic training wasn't a problem for him. The day's assessment finally ended. Lin Wui came over with a cold face and said, "It's a little worse than what I expected, but it's still a pass." "Got it, instructor. What's the next training?" "Fighter technology." Lin Wui's eyes flashed red. "From today onwards, it's your real training." "Yes, instructor." "Okay, follow me." They came to an electronic fighter simulation room. There were rows of fighter electronic cabins here. This was a simulation of fighter operations. A huge screen in front of them would show various fighter situations. The simulation was more than 90% realistic. This level of simulation was already very high. If one were to be hit while sitting on it, the entire cabin would simulate a real explosion. It was very realistic. At this moment, the simulation cabin was filled with robots. When they saw Wang Zhong come in, they all looked over. So many people? Wang Zhong scratched his head. These people are here to accompany you in the training. Start the operation. Okay, I'll start right away. Wang Zhong took a deep breath and entered the fighter cabin. The screen in front of him was very high-end. There was a series of operations. For example, takeoff training, landing training, aiming training, and dogfighting training. Perhaps many people didn't know what dogfighting training was. The so-called dogfighting training referred to when two fighters encountered each other. At this time, it was very difficult to aim. One needed to go around to the back of the enemy fighter to aim. However, under normal circumstances, the enemy fighter wouldn't give you the chance to go around to its back. At this time, the fight would begin. Hence, it was commonly known as dogfighting. Wang Zhong first trained for takeoff and landing. After a few days of training and mastering the skills, he began to train to fly in the universe. That's right. In this era with battleships, fighters wouldn't have a chance to fight in the air under normal circumstances. This was because once a battleship in the universe was destroyed, the planet would lose its defensive ability. You could fight to the death, but it would be useless. This was because once a battleship in the universe scanned any resistance forces on the surface, the secondary cannons on the battleship would be able to achieve accurate fire. Hence, in this era of battleships, it was basically a battle between battleships in the universe. Even if the victorious side only had one battleship left, the armed forces on the planet would be unable to resist. Chapter 732. Whoosh! A huge stealth fighter jet flew in the air. More than a dozen planes flew over and chased after the fighter jet. Wang Zhong controlled the fighter jet and glanced at the radar. He cursed under his breath. There was a group of fighter jets behind him. These days, after familiarizing himself with the fighter jet, he began to be chased. In order to train Wang Zhong's ability to adapt to the situation, instructor Lin Wui asked him to deal with one fighter jet at first, then 2, 3, 4. Until now, there were a total of 18 fighter jets chasing after him. It was fine if it was just a chase. Instructor Lin Wui also said that if the fighter jet was destroyed within 10 minutes, he would be punished to run 20 laps. He would also have to do more than 10 fighter jet takeoff and landing training at night. To be honest, after such high-intensity training, he wanted to vomit when he saw a fighter jet. The excitement he had before was long gone. Beep beep beep. At this time, the cockpit sounded an alarm. His plane was targeted by a missile. Wang Zhong's expression changed. He wanted to cross the canyon in front of him to avoid it, but it was too late. The missile hit his plane and the cockpit shook. He lost again. Again. Wang Zhong cursed and continued to fight. After it was over, naturally, Wang Zhong could only run 20 laps on the field. To his surprise, there was a robot running with him. This robot looked like a middle-aged man. He looked very simple and honest. With a wooden face, he followed behind Wang Zhong. "Brother, why are you running with me?" Wang Zhong was puzzled. Previously, he was the only one running. Why was this person running? The middle-aged man still had a wooden face and replied, "When the fighter jet was fighting today, I was targeted by your missile and destroyed. As a punishment, I came to run." Wang Zhong did not expect that this robot would be punished after losing. That's really fair and impartial. "Sigh, it's been hard on you." Wang Zhong patted the robot's shoulder. Wang Zhong's actions caused the robot to be stunned, and a different kind of light flashed in its eyes. Just a moment ago, it was analyzing Wang Zhong's words in its mind. "It's been hard on you." This was said to him. But why did he say it was hard on him? The robot analyzed that this was because Wang Zhong cared about him. For a moment, it was touched. "Human, why do you care about me?" Its processing began to speed up, and a sentence appeared in its mind. "Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? Oh, I am a robot. I was destroyed in a battle simulation. I am now being punished for running. Wang Zhong himself did not expect that a few casual words and an action of his would cause a robot to have thoughts. In the following days, Wang Zhong trained like crazy. After some preliminary calculations, Wang Zhong had definitely reached the standard of an ace pilot. However, Lin Wui did not give Wang Zhong any time to rest. The next step was to train him in warship commanding. In fact, strictly speaking, what followed next was training on mecha piloting. However, Wang Zhong had the foundation of piloting a Gundam, so he did not need to go through this training. He could just skip straight to the warship training. Listen, in the age of warships are the decisive force of a war. Only by preserving the power of a warship can we be successful in the coming battles. A qualified general will cherish every warship. Tang Bai, next you will learn the performance, data, and weapon specifications of each country's warship. Know yourself and know your enemy, and you will never be defeated. After learning these, what you will learn next is to command an army of tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of warships. Instructor Lin Wui painted a very big picture. Wang Zhong was secretly shocked. Command an army of hundreds of thousands of warships? Oh my god, if he really reached that level, would he still have to care about the small Greenwater planet, or the captain of the border guards, Bai Xiongling? When the time came, Bai Xiongling would probably beg him to let him go. No, not just probably, but for real. Bai Xiongling would definitely beg him when the time came. Don't be surprised. When Lin Wui saw Wang Zhong's reaction, the processor in his brain automatically analyzed Wang Zhong's thoughts. This was the advantage of robots. In addition to having their own thoughts, they could also perform super-fast calculations and analysis. This was something that humans could not compare to. The only disadvantage was that although they had thoughts, their way of thinking could not be as wild as humans. Their imagination was off the charts, and they could only think in certain areas. Tang Bai, are you confident? Lin Wui asked seriously. Yes. Very good, then let's begin. From this day onward, Wang Zhong officially entered the warship simulation room. On the screen in front of him, there were all kinds of warships of various sizes. There were many types of spaceships, but generally speaking, a space carrier was the most powerful existence. This was because there were often many airships on it. When these airships flew out, the scene was quite spectacular. Below the space carrier was the warship. Every country had a different model of warship. Among them, most countries used high, and low to differentiate warships. Low-level warships had the weakest combat power and defense. Mid-level warships. A mid-level warship was often comparable to 3 to 5 low-level warships. Its combat power and defense were greatly improved. High-level warships were second only to space carriers. A high-level warship was definitely comparable to more than 5 mid-level warships. Some upgraded high-level warships even had half of the functions of space carriers. On the huge deck, dozens of airships and fighter jets could be docked. Below the warships were the cruisers. Cruisers were used to defend against airships and fighter jets. They usually moved together with space carriers. Below them were the guided missile warships. They made up for the lack of combat power of space carriers and increased the firepower of their own side. Below them were the patrol ships. Patrol ships were usually used for patrol. Basically, they were not sent out. Then there were the airships and fighter jets. Airships and fighter jets were all on space carriers. Once a war broke out, these densely packed small combat units would fly out to harass the enemy's combat units and protect their space carriers. Generally speaking, if two sides were to go to war, the most important military power would still come from space carriers and warships. Every country's space carriers and warships were different, but one thing was for sure. Every country's space carriers and warships had similar firepower, defense, and combat power. Combat units of the same level had similar combat power. After learning about each country's warship models, Wang Zhong finally started to control the patrol ships. That's right. The first warship that Wang Zhong piloted was a patrol ship. After all, there were hundreds of people on the warship. It was a little difficult for Wang Zhong to learn how to operate a warship in the beginning. Most patrol ships only needed 2 or 3 people on board. With the autopilot technology, they only needed 1 person to pilot. Wang Zhong learned how to pilot. First, he familiarized himself with the feeling of the patrol ship in space. Then, he practiced turning, dodging meteorites, firing weapons, and so on. Compared to a warship, the patrol ship was much smaller. Even so, it was still the size of a truck. There was only one 55mm main cannon and 4 secondary cannons. Its attack power was not very strong, but it was very fast. Entering the StarCraft game. Sitting in the simulation pod, the StarCraft game interface appeared in front of him. According to the Super Artificial Intelligence, this game was designed by a large gaming company. It simulated a galactic war. Inside the game, players could control warships and airships. The simulation was exactly the same as the simulation pod, reaching more than 90%. Because of the good simulation, this game was used by the military of various countries to train soldiers to experience the feeling of operating a warship. The patrol ship that Wang Zhong was now operating was the latest S-838 Flying Bird patrol ship of the Wan-Tai Federation. After opening the StarCraft game and controlling the patrol ship, Wang Zhong carried out flight training. Before playing the game, this was a necessary flight training. After familiarizing himself with the game, Wang Zhong controlled the patrol ship to avoid the meteorites. Then, he scanned the radar to find the enemy and went to kill them. After playing with the patrol ship for more than a month, Wang Zhong was now very proficient in controlling it. After that, he began to control the gunship, which was also a guided missile ship. The gunship was about the same size as the patrol ship, but its armor was thicker, and its periphery was equipped with a plasma shield. Some of the ordinary secondary cannons could be blocked by the shield. In addition, the gunship's main cannon had reached 99mm, and the power of the secondary cannons was more powerful than the patrol ship, reaching 6. The gunship's crew was 8 to 10 people. In the StarCraft game, Wang Zhong found 8 robots to be his crew and play the game together. While controlling the gunship, Wang Zhong played an encounter battle. From time to time, patrol ships and even gunships would appear in front of him. Under the leadership of Wang Zhong, their gunship shuttled back and forth to annihilate the enemy. Of course, he didn't just give random commands. Instructor Lin Wui also taught him how to fight while playing the game. In a short period of time, Wang Zhong's progress was obvious. Half a year later, Wang Zhong commanded his warship to freely shuttle back and forth in the meteorite area, while a group of warships chased after him. Fuck, this madman actually ran to the meteorite area. Kill him and take the experience points. Not good, I hit a meteorite. Boom. Seeing that there was one less enemy on the radar, Wang Zhong, who was controlling the warship, was overjoyed. A group of bastards actually dared to hit me. Ever since he started this game, Wang Zhong had hunted many enemies in this game. Of course, this wasn't his intention. Most of the time, it was the instructor who told him to take the initiative. Over time, his account name, "If I say I'm second, no one dares to say they're first," became well known. Simply put, the instructor told him to draw aggro. However, the effect of this was also good. Now, Wang Zhong had mastered how to control the warship to avoid the meteorite area. This time, he attracted many warships to accompany him into the meteorite area. As the warships behind him crashed into the meteorite area and were destroyed, Wang Zhong's points also skyrocketed. Damn, it's this second in the world again. The warship that I spent so much money on is destroyed. Me too, who is this guy? Chapter 733. In a luxurious internet cafe, a group of players were crying. This group of people was the fleet of players that Wang Zhong had lured into the meteorite zone. Wang Zhong was becoming more and more famous among the players. Many people knew that he claimed to be the world's number 2. No one dared to claim to be the world's number 1. Hence, many people gave him a nickname, Number 2. This number 2 is probably from the military. That's why his piloting skills are so good. What's so great about him? Number 2. Pfft, I'll kill him the next time I see him. Wait a minute. Number 2 just announced that he is forming an army. He is now recruiting and forming a guild to attack the Oxus Federation. What? The simulation in this game was very high, but there was no concept of countries. Every force was represented by a guild. The Oxus Federation was not big in this game. The guild only had 500 or so warships, and most of them were mining warships. Their slogan was, "We love peace. We only want to mine." In other words, they only wanted to earn some money in the game. Hence, when Wang Zhong announced that he was going to attack the Oxus Federation, the game went crazy. What is this small guild doing? The Oxus Federation has always been peaceful. This number 2 is too despicable. Ridiculous. But does he think he can win? He is just a newly formed guild. Our Oxus Federation will win. The Oxus Federation's chief guild chairman, Zhu Yidan, slammed the table and made a decision. She wanted to take down Wang Zhong's guild before it started recruiting. Alright, what is number 2's guild called? It is called the world's number 2 guild. Very well, number 2. I will not let number 2 return. Just as Zhu Yidan finished speaking, a phone call came in. Big sister, our guild address, Oxus Planet, is surrounded. What? How many warships are there? More than 100. What are you afraid of? No, the opponent's strategy is really hard to deal with. We can't hold on any longer. Hurry up and go online. Got it. Zhu Yidan's warship was the main warship of the Oxus Federation. It was also the only advanced warship there. Once online, Zhu Yidan was stunned. Their warship positions were all destroyed, and countless small fighter jets surrounded them and attacked. What's going on? Zhu Yidan was flustered and exasperated because he recognized the enemy who attacked his guild. It was the Second Under Heaven Guild that had threatened to attack them. We were ambushed. The commander of the Second Under Heaven Guild is too cunning. They only have 100 low-level warships. First, they sent 30 warships over, pretending to attack us. We chased after them, but we didn't expect to be ambushed by mines when we entered the open area. We were instantly surrounded. Zhu Yidan snorted coldly. A bunch of useless things, isn't it just a bunch of low-grade warships? Listen to my orders, 10 mid-grade warships, follow me to battle. These 10 intermediate warships were the Oaks Federation's trump card, and they were equivalent to 30 to 40 low-grade warships. Including her own advanced battleship, she was practically a tiger in a flock of sheep. She could absolutely annihilate the Second Under Heaven Guild. After all, even the number 2 guild in the world only had 100 low-level warships. Full-speed attack, kill. No one knew that Zhu Yidan's subordinates were all from the same army. Especially Zhu Yidan, who was their commander. How could these soldiers tolerate being bullied like this? A bunch of low-grade warships dares to fight against our intermediate warships, trash. F*CK, I heard that this bunch of bastards ambushed us, and more than half of our low-grade warships were destroyed. What a bunch of dogs. Kill them, or else we won't have any face left. Yes. At this moment, Zhu Yidan was also very angry. However, she did not let her anger get to her head. Her high-grade battleships were hidden at the back. There was a total of 11 battleships, and they were lined up in a row as they rushed towards Wang Zhong. General, there are 11 warships heading towards us at full speed. Please give your orders. On Wang Zhong's side, the warship controlled by the robots scanned the enemy on the radar and reported immediately. Seems like it's the main force of the Oaks Federation. Wang Zhong revealed a sinister smile. He had been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. Commander, in the battle just now, although we managed to get rid of more than half of the enemy's low-grade warships through the ambush, our losses weren't small. As far as I know, although the enemy's reinforcements only have 11 warships, all of them are intermediate warships, and one of them is an advanced warship. As for us, we only have 67 warships left. Lin Wui reminded from the side. In fact, this time, Wang Zhong used 100 warships to get rid of more than 200 low-grade warships. Such a result was already very good, but after all, the enemy was too strong. Lin Wui was very curious about what Wang Zhong would do next. Advanced warship, huh? This is mine. Wang Zhong sneered. He had already thought of a plan. Pass down the order. Pretend to retreat. F*CK, this bunch of bastards ran away. Follow up the victory. Zhu Yidan ordered without hesitation. She was confident that she could catch up with the enemy. After all, the speed of an intermediate warship was much faster than that of a low-grade warship. At full speed, as expected, the enemy's warships were getting closer and closer. But soon, Zhu Yidan realized that something was wrong. In the previous battlefield, behind the wreckage of the warships beside the meteorites, there were suddenly warships appearing one after another. The Second Under Heaven's army didn't retreat at all. They only retreated half of their army and wanted to surround them. The rear of the warships didn't have enough defense, so once they were surrounded, it would be very troublesome. At this time, Wang Zhong stopped running and ordered, "All troops, turn back and reload the main cannons." Fire! Wang Zhong took the lead to fire the main cannons. At such a distance, it couldn't cause any destruction, but it could destroy the defensive shield of these intermediate warships. At this time, Zhu Yidan also shouted, "Attack forward, reload the main cannons." Not good, the warships behind are attacking us. It's over. This was Zhu Yidan's last thought. She knew why the enemy attacked from such a distance. This was to make them lose their defensive shield through the first round of the main cannons. After that, the warships that surrounded them fired their main cannons, and they couldn't resist much. As expected, after a few rounds of main cannons, they couldn't take care of both the front and back. In the blink of an eye, the intermediate warships around them were destroyed one by one. In the end, only this advanced warship was left. The people in front, listen up. You are surrounded. If you surrender now, you will lose less experience. Otherwise, you know what I mean. The one who shouted was naturally Wang Zhong. He had been coveting this advanced warship for a long time. For this military training, instructor Lin Wui gave him 100 warships for him to go out and train. After all, he was the commander now. How could he sit in a low-level warship? Zhu Yidan weighed the pros and cons. Although she was unconvinced, with her avatar, she would lose less experience. The only thing that made her unhappy was that the advanced warship was captured by the enemy. According to the rules, she was the flagship. If the commander surrendered, it meant that her subordinates had surrendered. With so many undamaged warships under her, it meant that they would be captured by Wang Zhong. This was also the reason why many powerful armies grew stronger as they fought. Of course, this game also had its rules. When one's power reached a certain level, they were not allowed to bully small organizations. Sister Zhu, surrender. That's right. If I surrender, I will lose half my experience. Otherwise, if I lose too much experience, I will lose levels. I will have to start training from the patrol ship again. After all, this was a game. There was no concept of honor or disgrace. Everyone's interests were the most important. If they couldn't win, they would lose half their losses. This was like playing cards. If one could lose $50, only an idiot would lose $100. Zhu Yidan had no choice but to agree. Surrender, she said coldly. I accept your surrender. Wang Zhong smiled. This time, although the losses were huge, he had also received 1 advanced warship and 50 low-level warships. Of course, these warships had to be sent to the warship factory in the game for repair. This required a lot of energy. There was no choice. Although this game was realistic, it still required money. In the following days, Wang Zhong brought his initial fleet and went out everywhere. More and more people knew about the reputation of the Second Under Heaven fleet. Many people knew that this Second Under Heaven was a madman. He did not accept any organization's offer of enlistment. Every time he defeated an organization, he would immediately challenge the next organization of equal strength. Wang Zhong did not win every battle. Lin Wui would let Wang Zhong make the decision first. When he felt that it was about time, he would let go. If Wang Zhong's decision was wrong, the Super AI Green Sun would remind him. Using big data for analysis on the battlefield was the advantage of a Super AI. This was something that even instructor Lin Wui could not do. In the next year or so, Wang Zhong's fleet gradually became famous in StarCraft. Many people wanted to investigate Wang Zhong's identity. Unfortunately, they could not find out who he was. 2 years later, Wang Zhong's second under Heaven fleet became one of the top fleets in the game. However, after this day, Wang Zhong announced his retirement. In Lin Wui's words, "Tang Bai, you have successfully graduated from here. Congratulations. But remember, life is not forever. You will have more to learn in the future. Do you understand?" Wang Zhong stood at attention and shouted in a standard posture, "Thank you for your teachings, sir. I will work hard." "Very good." Lin Wui nodded. At the same time, the eyes of many robots behind Wang Zhong emitted a dark green light. In fact, even Lin Wui and Green Sun could not understand why so many robots had their own thoughts after being with Wang Zhong for so long. After successfully graduating from here, Wang Zhong's next destination was to report to the capital circle. As Wang Zhong officially left, Lin Wui and his robot army looked at the spaceship in the distance and saluted. "I hope that the next time we see him, he will be able to make us see him in a different light." "Definitely." Green Sun's voice sounded in his ear. Chapter 734. After leaving the recruit training base, Wang Zhong was originally thinking about how to establish himself and how to make a name for himself. He wanted to go from an unknown soldier to a big shot in a single leap. However, LV Yang's words made him excited all of a sudden. "What, directly make me a second lieutenant?" "That's right." On the screen, LV Yang's beautiful face revealed a smile. "Don't tell me you want to start from a soldier. If you want to, it's not impossible." "Of course I won't think that way." Wouldn't he be a bastard if he didn't take advantage of the benefits? Wang Zhong's idea was to raise his position as soon as possible. Now that there was a way to start from a second lieutenant, it couldn't be better. In this world, the position system of soldiers was the same as in our country. Soldiers were divided into corporal, sergeant, and staff sergeant. After that, it was 4th grade sergeant major, 3rd grade sergeant major, 2nd grade sergeant major, and 1st grade sergeant major. After that, it was 2nd lieutenant, 1st lieutenant, and captain. Major, lieutenant colonel, colonel, senior colonel, major general, lieutenant general, and general. Directly becoming a 2nd lieutenant was already skipping the soldier rank and reaching the sergeant major rank. It was already very good. Therefore, Wang Zhong was naturally happy. "Big sister, how did you make me a 2nd lieutenant directly? Won't anyone find out?" "Of course no one will find out. That's why I dared to do it. In fact, everyone who knows about this is already dead." "All dead?" Wang Zhong was stunned, thinking that it was LV Yang who did it. For a moment, Wang Zhong's heart was a little complicated. If it was really LV Yang who did it, then it was a little scary. If a super artificial intelligence was used by criminals, would it do something innocent? No wonder people in this world were so afraid of artificial intelligence with thoughts. Sure enough, it was a double-edged sword. Don't think too much. What I mean is that in a star field, a patrol team encountered pirates. When they were chasing, this patrol team was surrounded and finally forced to land in a desolate star system. In fact, that patrol team is already dead, but I'll arrange for this airship to go over and help you contact external rescue. The people searching for you will know your location. Seeing Wang Zhong's worry, LV Yang quickly explained. "So that's how it is. But big sister, how did I become a 2nd lieutenant for no reason?" LV Yang smiled and said, "Because you're about to make a contribution. Those interstellar pirates are anti-government forces. They often attack patrol ships. When you see the rescue team, you can say that you know the location of their base. Then, you'll be able to capture them all." I get it now. Big sis, you already knew the location of the anti-government forces. Why didn't you tell the headquarters? Wang Zhong asked. Lu Yong shook his head helplessly. Tang Bai, do you know? Currently, you're the only one who knows of my existence. The people in this world are very afraid of intelligent robots like me. Do you understand? Sigh, I know, big sister. But I really can't understand them. Big sister is obviously so cute. Are you kidding me? Lu Yong tilted his head. He couldn't figure out what Wang Zhong meant. The man and the machine chatted as the spaceship flew through the vast galaxy. Along the way, Wang Zhong would sometimes think of the Qidian AI, especially his wife, Yi Hui Hui. The child is about 2 years old now. I wonder how Yi Hui Hui is doing. Wang Zhong thought to himself at night. He also asked LV Yang how Yi Hui Hui was doing. LV Yang said that she was doing very well. She was carefree in Steel City, living the life of a rich madam. The people around her were also very good to her. The neighbors often went over to take care of her and help take care of the child. 3 days later, the spaceship finally stopped at a dark planet. This was an authentic wilderness. The planet was far away from the sun, so it was winter all year round. There were also life forms here, but they weren't humans. Instead, they were exotic beasts and poisonous insects. The spaceship slowly landed in a desolate area. As far as the eye could see, there was no vegetation, only a vast expanse of yellow sand. The planet's living environment was too harsh. It was so harsh that even plants were rarely seen. However, the air here was very fresh and there was no poisonous gas. After getting off the spaceship, Wang Zhong saw the patrol ship that had been forced to land on this planet. I will control the spaceship to leave. You go there and send out a distress signal. When the rescue team comes, you should know what to say, right? Lu Yong said with a smile. Okay, I know. Looking at the spaceship slowly leaving, Wang Zhong walked towards the patrol ship. This patrol ship was a low-end version of an old-fashioned patrol ship. It was used in some unimportant places by the Wan Tai Federation. Some of the more important patrol areas had already been replaced. Wang Zhong went to the cockpit and saw 3 corpses. They were the pilots here. Wang Zhong found a pilot's uniform inside the spaceship and then sent out a distress signal. In this country, those who were sent out to patrol were some of the soldiers who weren't liked in the army. Normally, those with some background would not be sent out to do this kind of work. For example, the crew member that Wang Zhong was going to replace was called Huang Zhiguang. The name was very nice, but this person had lived a very hard life since childhood. His parents died when he was a child and he grew up in an orphanage. He had no ability, so he could only join the army. After joining the army, he was pushed aside and finally joined the patrol team. He didn't expect that in less than a month, he would be unlucky enough to meet the anti-government forces and die heroically. Now, the super AI had changed his information to Tang Bai, helping Wang Zhong change his identity once again. Furthermore, because this Huang Zhiguang was all alone and didn't have any acquaintances, and the people who knew him in this patrol team were all dead, Wang Zhong was able to successfully change his identity. After calling for help, the rescue team said that they would immediately send people over. The next thing was simple. They waited in the spaceship for a day. Early the next morning, 3 gunships landed. Hello, sir. I am Tang Bai, the deputy gunner of the patrol ship. Wang Zhong saluted with his right hand over his heart. Well, you are the only one left. Where are the others? A few fully armed men walked over. The one in the lead was wearing the military uniform of a lieutenant. He looked very majestic. While talking, 2 medics came over to bandage Wang Zhong's injuries. However, Wang Zhong refused them, saying that he was fine. You are quite lucky. You forced yourself to land in this broken place and you are fine. The lieutenant said to Wang Zhong. Yes, fortunately, I was wearing a seatbelt. Unfortunately, my teammates were all sacrificed. Wang Zhong sighed and immediately reported. However, this subordinate found the coordinates of the group of interstellar pirates. I suspect that they are anti-government forces. Oh. Wang Zhong's discovery was very important. At present, the most important task for the Wan-Tai Federation was anti-terrorism. Over the years, the anti-government forces had not disappeared. Instead, they were getting stronger and stronger. This was because the anti-government forces had obtained some low-level battleships and gunships from somewhere. Their combat effectiveness had greatly increased. These powerful battleships were not something that the patrol ships could fight against, so they had caused a lot of damage to the Wan-Tai Federation. This time, if they really found a stronghold of the anti-government forces, it would definitely be great news. If they could remove this stronghold, there was no doubt that they would make a great contribution. How could soldiers get promoted the fastest? Of course, it was to make contributions in war. Therefore, the lieutenant, who had the highest official position, made a prompt decision. Correspondent. Yes. Inform the base immediately. We may have found a base of anti-government forces. Request support. Yes. Wang Zhong did not expect the lieutenant to act so quickly. It seemed that he was eager to be promoted. But it was also good. He was the first source of information and the only survivor of the attack. When the time came, the military would definitely reward him, right? In the depths of the vast universe, 3 low-level battleships, 8 gunships, and 5 patrol ships were quietly lurking forward with their radars turned off. When the spaceship's radars were turned off, ordinary radars would not be able to scan their position. This small fleet was slowly sneaking towards a dead star. The so-called dead star referred to a planet without any life or was not suitable for living. But now that technology was advanced, even if the environment of these dead stars was bad, some spaceships could temporarily dock there. In order to hide their activities, the anti-government forces were docked on these dead stars in the universe. The environment of this dead star was very bad, and there were sandstorms outside every day. However, the temperature was 10 degrees, which met most of the requirements for starting up the spaceship, so the anti-government forces chose to dock there. They had been living there for 5 years. By robbing passing merchant ships as pirates, the anti-government forces had made a lot of money. Now, their equipment was quite good, and they had a second-hand low-level battleship. This battleship was their treasure, bought from a warlord in a country with civil strife. They had 3 battered gunships and a transport ship. This was all the property of their base. Of course, this was only one of the strongholds of the anti-government forces. The entire anti-government forces were quite large. Some people even said that the anti-government forces had received assistance from foreign forces, so they had revived and become stronger. This time, the anti-government forces were doing nothing in the battleship. Some were playing games, some were posting false comments and rumors online, and some were playing with the girls they had robbed. This was an unregulated place outside the law. Wang Zhong, as the discoverer of this place, was sitting in the low-level battleship. On the screen, the radar had already seen the military configuration of the anti-government forces on the dead star. It could be said that they were very weak, and they did not even have any defenses. Tang Bai, your information is true. The captain was overjoyed and immediately ordered his subordinates to surround them. There was not even a battle after that. When the anti-government forces saw the federal battleship coming, they were scared out of their wits and quickly sent a signal to surrender. After all, surrendering would allow them to live for a few more days. If they could provide useful information, they might not die. But if they resisted stubbornly, they would definitely die. Didn't you see that the 3 low-level battleships' main and secondary cannons were already open and charging? With one shot, they would all turn into space dust. Chapter 735. After accepting the surrender, the army took over the spaceships and returned. Wang Zhong had indeed made a great contribution this time. The army praised him and promoted him from an ordinary patrol ship's deputy gunner to the patrol ship's deputy captain. His position was promoted from a corporal to a staff sergeant. I'm still a staff sergeant after all. Wang Zhong felt extremely helpless, as he had discovered that the first lieutenant who had sent the message back had actually been promoted to captain. It was said that this person could enter a low-level battleship after training for a while. A low-level battleship. This first lieutenant was obviously groomed to be a commander, so he was promoted quickly. Well, there must be someone behind him. Tang Bai, you just entered the army and you're already a deputy captain. You're quite happy. In the dormitory area of the Shenwei battleship base on planet Baimong, Wang Zhong was comforting Wang Zhong in his dormitory area. Actually, I don't know why. According to your contributions, you're a hero, but you didn't get promoted. There's no one behind me, right? But it's okay. I'm now a deputy captain. Next, I'll start from captain. But you have to be careful. Your captain doesn't seem to like you very much. Since entering the new patrol ship as the deputy captain, Wang Zhong also found that the captain of this patrol ship called Tiger Lion, Yang Beiming, didn't seem to like him very much. For example, when he went to sign up yesterday, he didn't say which patrol ship he was going to, so Wang Zhong couldn't find it. In the end, he found an excuse to run 10 laps as punishment. Today, Yang Beiming even used the excuse that Wang Zhong had just arrived and wasn't familiar with the ship. He asked him to recite the data of their Tiger Lion first and said that he would check it when he came back at night. Wasn't this deliberately making things difficult for him? Therefore, Wang Zhong decided to find an opportunity to get the captain down. Once he was down, he would be the captain. Only when the patrol ship was in charge would the credit be given to him when he performed missions in the future. F***CK, I'm so unlucky. At this time, a crew cut man walked in. Hey, you're here too. The crew cut man looked at Wang Zhong in surprise. Then he smiled and said, It seems that you and I have offended Yang Beiming. I just arrived. Why is this guy targeting me? Wang Zhong asked, puzzled. You're the one who made a great contribution, but your contribution was snatched away by someone else, right? It seems like you don't know the rules here. The crew cut shook his head and said mysteriously, Since we're in the same team, I'll tell you about it. Although the captain isn't the highest official here, he's the highest official in the spaceship. Everyone who enters the spaceship just needs to be obedient if they meet a good captain. If they meet a bad one, they'll be unlucky. What do you mean? It's a gift. I came in last month and spent more than 10,000 on my military pay. I even invited Yang Beiming to play on the bus at the Character Experience Center. I didn't expect that I would still have to pay for it this month. I told him that I sent my military pay back home, but he made things difficult for me. F***CK. I see. Wang Zhong understood. He had just arrived and didn't show respect to Yang Beiming with energy points, so he made things difficult for him. Wang Zhong didn't say anything. He was already thinking about how to get Yang Beiming off the stage. After thinking about it, he came up with a plan. At night, Yang Beiming got off the patrol ship. There were 6 other team members who came down with him. These people surrounded Yang Beiming, talking and laughing. This was normal in the army. If they didn't want to be targeted in the spaceship, the key was to please the captain. Let's go to the cafeteria for dinner first. After dinner, I still have to teach Tang Bai a few lessons. Yang Beiming glanced at the crew members around him and mocked, This Tang Bai, I've read the information. He's still a recruit. At first glance, I can tell that he doesn't have any ability. I'm afraid we can't let him on the spaceship rashly. We have to let him memorize the spaceship's data. Everyone, am I right? This was to make an example out of him. He wanted everyone to see that if they didn't show respect to him, they would end up like Wang Zhong. Of course, the crew members knew Yang Beiming's intention. But even if they knew, they didn't dare to say anything. They were afraid of being targeted and could only smile. Captain Yang. At this time, Wang Zhong came over. Hee, little Tang, how is it? Have you memorized the spaceship's data? Yang Beiming had a smile on his face. He believed that if he showed Wang Zhong more knowledge, this guy should know his limits. At that time, he would have to give him his monthly energy points to show respect to him. The best would be to invite him to the role-playing club. He heard that there was a Leader's Care role-playing club recently. Just thinking about it made him happy. Captain Yang, I've memorized it. You haven't eaten yet, right? This is too tiring. I've prepared some food at a place. Do you want to eat? Yang Beiming secretly thought that Wang Zhong was teachable. It had only been a day, and Tang Bai was already showing respect to him. Some of the crew members next to him rubbed their hands, thinking that they could get a free meal. Who knew that Wang Zhong would only invite Yang Beiming? He took Yang Beiming's hand and said to leave. He didn't care about the other crew members at all. This guy doesn't care about us at all. Isn't that so? Who only invites Captain Yang to a meal? Stingy. He's obviously stingy. A few crew members complained about Wang Zhong. At this moment, Wang Zhong pulled Yang Beiming to a private room in the cafeteria. As soon as he entered, Yang Beiming's eyes lit up because there were a few bottles of good wine on the table. They could bring wine in the army, but they couldn't drink. They could only drink sometimes during the holidays. Most of the time, everyone drank secretly. Yang Beiming liked to play, so he naturally liked to drink. He asked in surprise, "There's wine? I heard from Ding Ji that you like to drink. I specially asked the cafeteria chef to buy it." Ding Ji was another one who was given a hard time by Yang Beiming. Yang Beiming smiled and said, "Well, then I'll drink less." "Yes, yes, come." Wang Zhong poured a few glasses of wine for Yang Beiming. After a while, Wang Zhong said that he had something to do and went out for a while. Yang Beiming waved his hand and didn't say anything. This pause made Yang Beiming feel very good. But soon, a military police team walked in. If one were to ask who soldiers were most afraid of, other than the commanding officer, it was probably the military police. This was because the military police specialized in managing soldiers. If anyone committed a crime, the military police would come to arrest them. Drinking on duty. Take him away. When the head of the military police saw the drunk Yang Beiming, he waved his hand and his men behind him directly grabbed Yang Beiming. "You. What do you want?" Yang Beiming turned pale with fright. "Don't do anything rash, don't do anything rash. It seems that he's really drunk." The head of the military police sneered. After taking Yang Beiming away, Wang Zhong found the head of the military police not long after. Then, Wang Zhong transferred 10,000 energy points to the head of the military police. "Thank you. It's okay. It's our duty to catch soldiers who don't follow the rules." Wang Zhong gave a faint smile and left. Those recruits all thought that it was enough to curry favor with Yang Beiming. For Wang Zhong, it was better to give the military police some benefits and then directly arrest Yang Beiming. This was his plan today. Through the soldiers here, Wang Zhong learned about the military police and then found the head of the military police. Of course, before contacting him, he also got to know that Yang Beiming didn't have any background. Otherwise, this plan wouldn't have worked. Thinking about it, if Yang Beiming had any background, he wouldn't have been the captain of a small patrol ship. The plan was completed. Yang Beiming had made a disciplinary mistake. Although nothing would happen to him, he probably wouldn't be able to be the captain again. That night, the crew of the patrol ship learned about this. "I didn't expect Captain Yang to be arrested for drinking. That's too unlucky. Many people secretly drink, but they're all fine. I heard that the military police went directly to the place where he was drinking to catch him. But why is Tang Bai fine?" The crew members were all very strange and whispered in the dormitory. At this time, Wang Zhong came in. Wang Zhong didn't say anything and went to rest. The next day, Yang Beiming was indeed dismissed for not following the rules. According to the rules, when the captain was dismissed, the deputy captain was responsible for the affairs of the spaceship. Wang Zhong naturally became the captain. "Captain Tang, congratulations." "Captain Tang, I bought you breakfast. Have some." "Captain Tang, if there's anything in the future, just let me know." As soon as Yang Beiming left, the crew tried to curry favor with Wang Zhong. Chapter 736. Wang Zhong waved his hand nonchalantly at their flattery. Everyone, I'm not Yong Beiming. You don't have to be so polite. In my spaceship, I value real talent. Instead of studying these flattery, why don't you study how to operate the spaceship? Wang Zhong's words made the crew's eyes light up. They all knew that Wang Zhong was really different from Yong Beiming. In the following days, Wang Zhong familiarized himself with the patrol ship. In fact, he already had a deep foundation. Now, he was just familiarizing himself with it. The patrol ship was not strong. Its daily mission was to patrol some areas near the space station as well as the sea route. After training, Wang Zhong officially familiarized himself with the crew. However, Wang Zhong was always thinking about how to perform meritorious deeds. There was definitely no chance to perform meritorious deeds in the base. He could only perform meritorious deeds when he was patrolling. 2 months later, the opportunity finally came. According to Green Sun's notice, a group of interstellar pirates was preparing to hijack an interstellar passenger plane. This was a big deal. Wang Zhong could already imagine how glorious it would be when he saved the passenger plane. He would definitely be promoted. However, there was a problem. That sea route was not the one he patrolled, but it was not far from the one he patrolled. It doesn't matter. At most, I'll just say that I received a rescue signal. Wang Zhong made up his mind. The next day, Wang Zhong and his team members set off from the spacecraft carrier and began their patrol for the day. The patrol ship roamed the universe. Wang Zhong sat in the main pilot seat and controlled the ship, avoiding falling meteorites. In fact, at such a slow speed, it could be done on autopilot. However, Wang Zhong did not like the feeling of autopilot. He liked to drive personally. The feeling of driving fascinated him. Looks like today is going to be another boring day. Radar soldier Ding Ji leaned back in his chair and said, bored. Correspondent Alex smiled and said, it's going to be a holiday in a few days. Captain, let's go out and play for a few days. What do you think? We've discussed it and decided to invite you to the cosplay club. I heard that there's a new cosplay area called the Care of the Chief. Yes, Captain. First of all, we sincerely want to invite you, not to flatter you, the main gunner, Kiki, shouted. Wang Zhong shook his head helplessly and said, I appreciate everyone's good intentions, but there's something wrong today. Have you all noticed? What's wrong? Everyone was curious. Wang Zhong said, I just noticed a spaceship appear on my radar, and then I suddenly lost the signal. It's very strange. I don't think so. Radar soldier Ding Ji muttered. Ding Ji, you don't seem to be doing your job well. Wang Zhong said faintly. In fact, he was just spouting nonsense. His goal was to legitimately go to another sea route. After that, without waiting for the crew to reply, Wang Zhong increased the speed of the spacecraft. The spacecraft instantly accelerated and flew towards the Y720 LLD channel. The expressions of the crew members changed drastically. Captain, don't do anything rash. Where are we going? Captain, you must have seen wrongly. Wang Zhong did not listen to these shouts at all. The spacecraft accelerated. It's over. It's over. If you leave your post without permission, you will be court-martialed. Calm down. Everyone, don't argue. I'm not messing around. I know what I'm doing. In short, listen to me this time. I suspect that the radar showed interstellar pirates. Wang Zhong shouted coldly. His aura oppressed everyone, making them not dare to say more. However, the crew was still very worried. They looked at each other and did not know what to do. At this moment, on the Y720 LLD channel, an interstellar passenger plane was entering the predetermined orbit. This was an interstellar passenger plane that served the rich. This flight was going to a tourist planet. It was said that the tourist planet was like spring all year round. The whole world only had a small beach exposed to the water, and the rest of the land was less than half a meter underwater. It was a good place to swim and sunbathe. The tourism company had done a lot of development on that planet, and it was now one of the most famous tourist attractions in the Wantai Federation. The spacecraft slowly entered the orbit. Now, it only needed to enter the predetermined area to start a space jump. However, at this moment, the luxurious and comfortable interstellar passenger plane suddenly trembled. The tail seemed to have suffered a violent explosion. In an instant, the interstellar passenger plane was filled with screams. "What's going on? I seem to have seen a fire outside the window. The fire came from the tail of the spacecraft. What? We can't be so unlucky, right?" There was an explosion. For a moment, the passengers were in panic and guessing. It was a mess. "Please keep quiet, everyone," the flight attendant shouted anxiously. However, how could they keep quiet when they encountered such a thing? Soon, the passengers started to question what was going on. "I don't know for the time being. We have to ask the captain," the flight attendant said with a sobbing tone. "Something's wrong. Everyone, look ahead." A bald middle-aged man pointed out the window. Not far ahead, there was a small spacecraft with cannons mounted on it. It was blocking the front. "This is a modified patrol ship. I've seen it in a military magazine. Pirates. We encountered interstellar pirates." A young man who liked military affairs was shocked. For a moment, the crowd was in chaos again. The infamy of interstellar pirates spread far and wide among ordinary people. These pirates were cruel and ruthless. Once they hijacked an interstellar passenger plane, they had to let their people land to control the interstellar passenger plane. Otherwise, it would be destroyed on the spot. Once these guys boarded the interstellar passenger plane, they would be in trouble. It was said that interstellar pirates roamed around some dead stars in the deep space of the universe. They liked to kidnap young and beautiful women and lock them up on the dead stars. Once they were locked up on the dead stars, there was no possibility of them coming back. However, if they resisted now, they would be destroyed directly. In short, no matter what, it was very troublesome. In the cockpit, the three pilots controlling the spacecraft had cold sweat on their foreheads. They did not know what to do. This was because all the cannons of the interstellar pirate spaceship were aimed at them. It was visible to the naked eye that the main cannons were fully charged. If there was any movement, these cannons could easily tear their interstellar passenger plane into pieces. The other party sent a message. The correspondent picked up the communication and a sharp laughter came from the other side. "Hello, I'm General Joie. The three pilots' expressions changed. Joie, the 34th most wanted pirate on the Interstellar Pirate Wanted list. It was rumored that Joie was originally a general of the Republic. Later, he started a coup. Unexpectedly, the coup failed and Joie escaped with his former subordinates. He started to mingle in the universe and became an interstellar pirate. This General Joie was rumored to be cruel. He liked to kidnap young women and bring them to the dead stars. As for the men, he would let them live if they had energy points. If not, he would kill them on the spot. He did not care about feelings. He only wanted to kill. "Where's the captain?" "I want to talk to him," Joie said again. I am." The captain wiped his sweat. "General Joie, this is an interstellar tourist spaceship called Sunshine. There are all VIPs on it. Please be merciful. I know you're all VIPs. That's why I'm here. Open the hatch immediately and let my people land. Otherwise, I'll blast you. I'll give you 1 minute to consider." Joie did not hesitate at all. He immediately said, "Don't worry. According to the Interstellar Pirate Convention, we won't kill obedient pilots." The Interstellar Pirate Convention was a tacit agreement among interstellar pirates. It referred to the fact that when hijacking a spaceship, as long as the pilots were obedient and opened the hatch, the safety of the pilots would be guaranteed. The reason for this was to ensure that the pilots were obedient. Otherwise, the pilots would die even if they opened the hatch. Which pilot would be obedient then? The three pilots looked at each other. In the end, the pilot nodded and said, "We'll die even if we don't open the hatch." "Why don't we?" "Yes, that's the only way." The three pilots were not worried that something would happen to them. This was an unspoken rule among interstellar pirates. As long as they were obedient and did not resist, the pilots would be sent somewhere safely after the mission. Then, the hatch at the back of the spaceship opened. This was a vacuum zone, and there would be people wearing oxygen equipment coming in from here. It's over, it's over. This is an interstellar pirate spaceship. They must have reached an agreement with the captain to open the hatch. So what if they don't open it? Can't you see that the cannons are pointing at us? Damn it. I don't know what those patrolling soldiers are doing. Such a huge pirate spaceship is here and they still haven't appeared. It's right to surrender now. Otherwise, we'll all die. A big boss who owned a company and was going on a vacation with his mistress said helplessly. He was already prepared to pay more energy points later and only hoped that those people would spare him. As for his mistress, she might not be able to escape. Sure enough, his mistress pulled his hand nervously. Boo-hoo, I don't want to be caught. I don't want to be caught. Get lost. Damn it. You better be obedient later. Don't drag me into this. His mistress was stunned. At this moment, she felt that the person in front of her was a stranger. Chapter 737. Just as the spaceship was in a mess, General Joada's men were ready to land. A helicopter flew out of their spaceship and slowly flew toward the landing port. Just as it was about to land, a laser beam suddenly flew over without warning. Boom! The helicopter was smashed into pieces, and the pilot inside was so dead that not even a trace of him could be found. Everyone, including Joada, was stunned when they saw this scene. Who did this? Joada thought in his mind, but he didn't yell in anger immediately. Instead, he immediately ordered the defense shield to be raised. Raise the defense shield. Not good, it's a patrol ship. They didn't expect a patrol ship to approach them in a silent state without being detected by the radar. The owner of this patrol ship was naturally Wang Zhong. After the successful shot, the main gunner, Cookie, shouted, aiming at the pirate ship in front. Captain, please give your orders. Fire. Wang Zhong ordered without hesitation. In order to prevent these pirates from launching weapons at the interstellar airliner in desperation, he wasn't prepared to accept their surrender. Yes. Cookie pressed the launch button without hesitation. Whoosh. The main cannon, which had already been reloaded, was fired. Because the pirate ship didn't have time to raise the defense shield, it instantly disintegrated. Rumble. The pirate ship exploded. What happened? Haha, we're saved. Everyone, look, that's a patrol ship. My cousin's uncle is a soldier on the patrol ship. Ha ha ha, we're saved. Inside the interstellar airliner, the passengers and flight attendants were all relieved. They were saved. Passengers in front. Hello, I'm the captain of the patrol ship, Tang Bai. The interstellar pirate ship has been destroyed by us. Please rest assured, the rescue team will be here soon. After that, the interstellar airliner safely landed at the temporary airport. As an escort, Wang Zhong also followed. However, when he followed, the superior officer, Kata, picked up the communication. When Wang Zhong was training before, he saw this officer on the screen of the patrol ship. This person was a little thin. After glancing at Wang Zhong, Kata nodded and said, Staff Sergeant Tang Bai. Hello, sir. Well, you did well this time. The reporters and passengers will come to interview you later. Is that so? Wang Zhong was overjoyed. If that was the case, then he would be famous. It would be hard for his superiors not to reward him. However, Kata's next words caused Wang Zhong's heart to turn cold. Kata said, when you get off the plane, don't meet the reporters for the time being. I'll talk to them. He was trying to steal the credit. Wang Zhong furrowed his brows. Last time, someone had already stolen his credit. This time, it was happening again. Tang Bai, do you understand? Don't worry, I won't mistreat you, Kata hinted. Yes. After hanging up, the crew members were unhappy. This guy wants to steal the credit. How despicable. How can they do this? That's how the people from the military are like. F***ck, they like to steal the credit of their subordinates, Ding Ji cursed. Wang Zhong's eyes turned cold, but he didn't say anything. Once they got off the spaceship, countless reporters and passengers surrounded the spaceship. Captain, what should we do? Looking at the expectant eyes of the crew members, Wang Zhong knew that they wanted to get off the spaceship and enjoy the feeling of being treated as heroes. However, Officer Kata had already ordered them not to get off the spaceship. What should they do? Wang Zhong smiled and said, "Of course we have to listen to the officer's order." However, he didn't order you. Everyone's eyes lit up and they got off the spaceship. Seeing the crew members getting off the spaceship, the reporters surrounded them. Kacha kacha. Countless camera lights flashed. The crew members couldn't help but puff out their chests. They had become heroes. All of this was brought to them by Wang Zhong. I heard that the interstellar pirates sneaked into the travel channel. How did you know that there were interstellar pirates there? Faced with a reporter's question, the crew members all said, "Our captain found them." Where is the captain? The reporter asked. The captain is still on the spaceship. I asked him to come down. At this moment, Wang Zhong naturally had a reason to come down. Officer Kata wouldn't be able to find a reason to criticize him. After getting off the spaceship, more and more people gathered. Not only the reporters, but many passengers also gathered around. You must be the captain. Thank you so much. If you didn't save us, we would be dead. A rich lady held Wang Zhong's hand tightly and said gratefully, "Little hero, this is our little hero. Thank you so much. How did you get here?" Officer Tang Bai, how did you know that there would be pirates there? Faced with the reporter's questions, Wang Zhong naturally wouldn't let go of this opportunity to show his face in public. Previously, Kata had told him to wait for him to meet the reporters. However, this had long been forgotten by him. Wang Zhong said, "I found them on the radar." At that time, the radar appeared for a moment and then suddenly went silent. Only pirates would do that. So, I guess that there was a pirate attack. I see. Everyone was enlightened. Then, the reporters asked a bunch of nonsense. That's right, nonsense. After all, the rescue operation was pretty much explained. As a hero, Wang Zhong's story was naturally very eye-catching. Of course, Wang Zhong was also worried that Bai Xiongling would see his face on TV. After all, he came from Green Water Planet. Fortunately, the Super AI Green Sun said that when such things happened, the TV station would usually censor it to prevent the interstellar pirates from taking revenge. Half an hour later, Officer Kata arrived late. He looked coldly at Wang Zhong, who was being interviewed, snorted, and walked away. That day, as a hero, Wang Zhong and his team members were on the headlines of major media outlets. Heroic patrol team members bravely save tourist ship, not afraid of danger, fight pirates with wits. The Battle of the Super Captain, a secret between me and the pirates, reveals how the Super Captain Tang Bai dealt with the interstellar pirates. The nemesis of the interstellar pirates. Once the Super Captain makes a move, you will know whether he is real or not. Looking at the headlines of major media outlets, Wang Zhong felt goosebumps all over his body. The next day, Kata came to look for Wang Zhong. "Sir, you were looking for me?" Wang Zhong entered the office and asked. "Tang Bai, do you know why I was looking for you?" Of course, Wang Zhong knew. It was because Kata wanted to steal his credit. However, at this time, he pretended not to know. Wang Zhong looked suspicious. "Sir, I don't know. Yesterday, I didn't ask you to meet the reporters slowly. Do you know that because of your nonsense, some of our military deployments might be known by the interstellar pirates? Do you know how dangerous this is for the other team members?" Sure enough, Kata was trying to nitpick on him. Fortunately, Wang Zhong was already mentally prepared and had a way to deal with it. "Sir, I didn't reveal any military secrets. You still dare to deny it? Not listening to me is already the biggest mistake." Sir, it's not that I didn't listen to you. You just asked me not to get off the ship, but you didn't order my team members. Later, I was invited off by the reporters. I had no choice. You don't have to explain. I don't think you are qualified for your current position. Oh, I understand. With a smile, Wang Zhong replied, Sir, you're just jealous of me. Originally, you wanted to meet the reporters first and take the credit for yourself, right? Kota's eyes narrowed. He did think so. Originally, he wanted to tell the reporters that he predicted the appearance of the interstellar pirates, so he asked Wang Zhong to lead the team there. However, these thoughts were just thoughts. Now that Wang Zhong had said it out loud, things were different. Tang Bai, I'm your commanding officer. Do you know the consequences of your words? There are no consequences. At most, I will quit. However, I know a few reporters this time. I believe they will be very interested in my resignation. Wang Zhong's tone was relaxed, but the threat in his words was self-evident. He continued with a cold face, Those tabloid reporters are good at writing. I even thought of the headlines for them. What headlines? A superior persecutes his subordinate out of jealousy. What do you think of this headline? With the current public opinion, I believe the public will be very interested in this matter. It might even make the headlines. A sliver of coldness and hostility instantly appeared in Kota's eyes as she looked at Wang Zhong. I was wondering why your captain, Yang Beiming, was arrested by the military police for drinking for no reason. It was your doing, wasn't it? Wang Zhong did not reply. He said, Sir, I respect you, but you have to respect me too. I don't want my things to be taken away. Please understand. Haha, of course I understand. In an instant, Kata seemed to have changed into a different person. His attitude became polite. It seemed that after weighing the pros and cons, he also understood that if he dealt with a hero at this stage and was caught by the reporters, he would not have an easy time. After leaving, the military smoothly gave Wang Zhong his reward. He was promoted to a rank 1 sergeant major. In addition, Wang Zhong was rewarded with 50,000 energy points. The rest of the team members were each rewarded with 10,000 energy points. Wang Zhong was not very happy about this because he had offended Kata. This was because he had offended Kata. Kata was now a first lieutenant. As time passed, Kata would definitely deal with him after this matter was settled. After all, no leader would allow a subordinate that was not under his control to appear. However, for Wang Zhong, if Kata wanted to deal with him, why wouldn't he want to deal with him too? He was also waiting for this opportunity. Finally, after 2 months, an opportunity came. Kata, as the captain of a patrol ship, was in charge of more than 10 patrol ships. This time, it was said that the daughter of a big company's CEO would pass by to set up a branch company and cut the ribbon for the branch company. This company was called Sun Tang Company. It was the largest entertainment, gaming, and internet company in the Wantai Federation. It was said that the company's wealth was comparable to that of a country. Such a big shot's daughter would naturally be heavily guarded. Most importantly, they had received a clue that someone would kidnap the daughter of the Sun Tang Company's CEO, Ma Xianxian. Chapter 738. According to the clues from the intelligence department, the robbers have 2 hijacking plans. The first is to attack the convoy after Ma Xianxian gets off the spaceship. The second is when Ma Xianxian's spaceship flies over, the interstellar pirates will take the opportunity to attack. Our patrol team's mission is to take early precautions and protect the daughter of Sun Tang's CEO, Ma Xianxian. The ground is protected by the police and military, and the space station is patrolled by us. Now, I announce that everyone should familiarize themselves with the route of Ma Xianxian's fleet in 3 days. We must protect Ma Xianxian's safety. The higher-up said that Ma Xianxian came with tens of billions of Sun Tang's investment. If something happens to her, it means that the planet we are protecting is not safe, and the investment will fail. The higher-ups are taking this very seriously. Do you understand? This time, Kata had a meeting to explain the importance of this matter. However, Wang Zhong's team was not invited. The reason was simple. After Kata knew about this matter, he immediately gave Wang Zhong's team a week off with the excuse that his patrol ship needed maintenance. This way, if they really made a contribution, it would have nothing to do with Wang Zhong. Damn it, when did we offend him? How dare he give us a holiday? How dare he? Ding Ji cursed angrily. He definitely did it on purpose. His purpose is to prevent us from protecting Ma Xianxian. F***ck him. Ma Xianxian, my goddess. Ding Ji wailed like a ghost. That's right, Ma Xianxian was the goddess of many people. Not only was she the daughter of Sun Tang CEO, but she was also a star singer who was loved by many people. Captain, express your opinion. If you are not satisfied, we will go with you and complain to the higher-ups together, Kutcher shouted. Yes, does that dog Kata think we are easy to bully? Let's wait and see. Wang Zhong smiled and said, Don't worry, everyone. He is the leader. Of course, we have to listen to the leader's orders. Captain, are you just going to let it go like this? Everyone was shocked. Wang Zhong snorted and said, Of course I won't let it go like this. But this matter, maybe Kata is smart and is against smart? Wang Zhong did not say anything. 3 days later, Ma Xianxian's caravan arrived from the space station through a space jump. Everyone, be on your guard. Turn on all the radars of all the warships and search for any suspicious spaceships. If you have any questions, report them immediately. Kata closed the communication channel and rubbed his forehead. This time, Ma Xianxian's caravan was here, and he was hoping that they would encounter the interstellar pirates. After all, if the interstellar pirates did not come, how could he make any contributions? How to get promoted? However, there was still no sign of the interstellar pirates. Could it be that the information is wrong? Kata thought suspiciously. After waiting for a long time until Ma Xianxian's caravan landed on the ground, the interstellar pirates still did not appear. Sir, it seems like the interstellar pirates are too scared to come, the subordinate said as he leaned back in his chair. Humph, it seems like that's the case. I thought those interstellar pirates were powerful, but it seems like they're just a bunch of cowards. At this moment, Kata also relaxed as he thought about how he should make things difficult for Wang Zhong. This guy actually dared to talk back to me last time. If I don't teach you a lesson, how am I supposed to lead my team in the future? Kata thought viciously. Achoo! In a tall building, Wang Zhong and his team members were eating mutton in a hot pot restaurant downstairs. Damn it, I'm already on holiday. Who's still plotting against me? Wang Zhong wiped his nose and said, Captain, you're still in the mood to eat? Sigh, that guy Kata must be thinking about how to get back at you. Ding Ji picked up a big piece of mutton helplessly and tried to persuade Wang Zhong to eat less as he would gain weight if he ate too much. Alex looked at the time and said, It's already so late, and there's still no news about the interstellar pirates. It seems like Ma Xianxian's caravan is fine. That's good too. Kata still wants to make a contribution. While the team members were talking, Wang Zhong looked out of the window. Opposite him was the Swift Corporation's branch office building that was about to be unveiled. Ma Xianxian's caravan was about to arrive. Those people should be here soon, right? Wang Zhong laughed in his heart. This time, Kata was definitely smart. He thought that the interstellar pirates would kidnap Ma Feifei from space. However, according to Liu Yang's information, the interstellar pirates had already contacted the criminals on this planet and were preparing to kidnap her here. In the eyes of the team members, he and his team members were really here to eat hot pot. Only Wang Zhong himself knew that he just chose a place that was closer to the location of the incident. Not long after, a few black aircrafts came from afar. Aircrafts were a means of transportation that replaced cars. They could only fly 30 centimeters above the ground and were very fast. There were more than 10 cars in the caravan. However, when they approached a trash can, there was a sudden boom and the trash can exploded. The explosion caused the first car to burst into flames. As soon as the caravan stopped, dozens of masked men rushed out from both sides of the street. They held laser weapons and shot at the engines of the aircrafts. The aircrafts were destroyed and immediately fell to the ground, losing their ability to move. The caravan naturally did not sit still. Even the 2 police cars following behind the caravan fired lasers and started to fight back. However, the masked men seemed to have planned this. Not long after the counterattack, the masked men aimed at the caravan and fired continuously. The people in the car were hit so hard that they could not raise their heads. A few of the aircrafts were directly destroyed. The battle was very intense. The masked men had the advantage of time and place. It was obvious that they came prepared. Wang Zhong and a group of people hid in the hot pot restaurant and watched this scene. F***CK. What's going on? Someone is robbing the caravan. Something's not right. This is Ma Xianxian's caravan. Captain Yu. Just as Ding Ji was about to speak, his eyes turned. He seemed to have guessed something, and the way he looked at Wang Zhong changed. However, Ding Ji did not say anything. He continued, "This is a good opportunity. Let's go now. If we can save Ma Xianxian, it will definitely be a great achievement." As soon as he said that, the crew's eyes lit up. But we came out in a hurry this time and did not bring any weapons. Alex touched his waist and said regretfully. At this time, Wang Zhong calmly took out his handbag and said lightly, "When I got off the ship, I was worried that there would be an accident, so I brought a gun." "Captain Yu, you are too awesome." Kutcher stood up excitedly. "Don't talk nonsense. Let's act according to the situation later." "Yes." On the road, dozens of aircrafts were already lying down. A group of masked men had stopped shooting and slowly moved toward the caravan. In the middle of the aircrafts, Ma Xianxian, the daughter of the CEO of Suntang Enterprise, was curled up in fear in the aircrafts that was emitting white smoke. She did not know what to do. Just now, the 2 female bodyguards who were protecting her in the car rushed out of the car, but they were both beaten to a pulp. Now their bodies were beside the car. After being shot by the laser gun, the intense heat would burn the flesh, so the 2 bodies still emitted a burnt smell. "Dad, it's over. The bodyguards are dead. They are coming now. What should I do?" In the car, Ma Xianxian anxiously spoke to her father on the videophone. "Daughter, don't worry. I have informed the military police over there. They are on their way. Why aren't they here yet? Don't be nervous. No matter what happens later, you must never provoke them. Do you understand?" Ma Xianxian cried and nodded. At this time, the videophone in front of her was smashed to pieces. The car door was kicked open, and a young man with dyed red hair rushed in. "Wow, our precious daughter is crying. Tell me, who bullied you? Tell me, I'll help you and kill him." Ma Xianxian looked at the teasing faces outside the car, and her heart suddenly fell to the bottom. Chapter 739. She said with a trembling voice, Let me go. I have money. I'll give you money. Don't worry, we won't bully you. Come out." The red-haired man made an inviting gesture and then continued, "Miss, you have to be smart. Although we have tender feelings for you, our boss isn't that good with words." Although Ma Xianxian was timid, she wasn't a blind person. In order not to get hurt, she gritted her teeth and slowly walked out of the car. "That's more like it. Okay, let's go. We have to hurry. Otherwise, the military and police will come later." The red-haired man was excited as he looked behind Ma Xianxian. Biu, 2 laser beams shot out, and his head was instantly torn apart. He died a miserable death. Suddenly, red and white blood splashed onto Ma Xianxian's face. Because it was too sudden, it caused Ma Xianxian to be stunned on the spot. She even forgot to shout. The group of masked men reacted much faster. They immediately looked for where the gun came from. Boy. 2 more gunshots came and 2 gunmen were knocked down. Damn, there are more gunmen. Everyone, be alert. Many masked men looked for cover. At the same time, some people found Alex and the others approaching. "The gunmen are over there," someone shouted, "in the hot pot restaurant. Cover them. Shoot." While these people were shooting at them, Wang Zhong passed through the roadside car and rushed to the other side of Ma Xianxian's car. Because the masked men were attracted by the fire at the hot pot restaurant, no one paid attention to this side. This gave Wang Zhong an opportunity. "Miss Ma." Wang Zhong gently patted Ma Xianxian's shoulder. "Ah." Ma Xianxian was about to scream when Wang Zhong slapped her. "Shut up. I'm here to save you." Ma Xianxian covered her face and was a little confused. Wang Zhong was also helpless. In order to make Ma Xianxian shut up, he could only do this. "I'm the captain of the patrol ship, Sergeant Tang Bai." Ma Xianxian's brain finally came back. She asked nervously, "Why are you alone?" "Cut the crap and follow me." Ma Xianxian was the key to this meritorious deed. If Ma Xianxian died, there would be no merit to talk about, so he had to save her. Then, Wang Zhong stretched out his hand. "Get out of the car." "All right." But at this moment, perhaps because the criminals felt that too much time had passed and the reinforcements were about to arrive, they could not wait any longer. The leader shouted, "Bring that woman over. We're leaving immediately." The two lackeys nodded. When they turned around, they found that Wang Zhong had already pulled Ma Xianxian and was preparing to escape. "Stop." The two of them didn't dare to open fire because their mission was to capture Ma Xianxian alive. Wang Zhong turned around and fired 2 shots. The 2 men's heads exploded instantly. "Wow, the captain's marksmanship is too awesome," Ding Ji from the hot pot restaurant said with fanatical eyes. "Isn't that so, Chow?" Now isn't the time to talk about this. The captain is coming. Cover, cover. Wang Zhong pulled Ma Xianxian and hid behind an aircraft that had just landed. Ma Xianxian saw that she had escaped danger and breathed a sigh of relief. Thank you. Don't worry, as long as you get me out of here safely, I'll definitely thank you properly." Wang Zhong nodded calmly. "I hope so. Don't stand me up when the time comes." Ma Xianxian was stunned. She realized that the other party really didn't care about her and that saving her was purely a mission. She stopped talking and looked into the distance cautiously. Beep beep beep. Beep beep beep. At this time, several patrol aircraft came from afar. The group of masked men was shocked. "Not good, retreat. The mission failed. Run." Seeing the aircraft flying over, the masked men knew that the mission had failed. What else could they do but run now? "Phew, we're safe." Ma Xianxian breathed a sigh of relief. Then, she looked at Wang Zhong with a complicated expression. "We're finally safe. Well, call your father." Wang Zhong handed her the phone. "Thank you." Ma Xianxian made the call and cried as she told her father that she was safe. While making the call, Wang Zhong thought that he might really be rich this time. First, he made a great contribution. Second, he saved the daughter of the CEO of Sun Tang Company. Would Sun Tang Company reward him with a few houses? However, this was just Wang Zhong's random thought. Soon, Ma Xianxian handed over the phone and said, "My dad wants to call you." "Ah, okay." Wang Zhong picked up the phone. The person on the other side spoke with a strong voice. "Thank you very much for saving my daughter. I have a request next." "Please say it." "This time, my daughter was ambushed when she came here. I suspect that there's a traitor around her. I don't trust many people, but I trust you. Please protect her for 2 days. Just 2 days." "What?" Wang Zhong was stunned. "But the military police are already here." "I know, but do you know? When she came this time, I only informed the military police and the space station, but she was still ambushed. Nothing happened in the space station, which means that there's no problem there. So I suspect that there's a traitor in the military police. If you hand my daughter over to the military police now, I'm very worried. I don't have anywhere to take her." Wang Zhong said helplessly. He didn't want to take a burden with him at all. I just heard from my daughter that you should be from the military, said Ma Huayun, the CEO of Sun Tang Company. I am, but my position is not high. I'm just the captain of a patrol ship. That's enough. A patrol ship belongs to the warship fleet and has no contact with the military police. Take her away now and send her to your patrol ship. I'll send someone to pick her up in 2 days. But Wang Zhong hesitated. The main thing was that if the military found out about this, it would be troublesome. Just do as I say. I'm acquainted with your Admiral Gus Liu. Gus Liu, an influential admiral in the military world, was also one of the people in charge of guarding this star field. Wang Zhong instantly understood. Ma Huayun's words meant that if he listened to her, he would benefit greatly. After thinking about it, Wang Zhong decided to take a gamble. It was very simple. Since Ma Huayun suspected the military police, it was definitely not groundless. She must have her reasons. If that was the case, if he handed Ma Xianxian over to the military police, he was afraid that something would happen. By then, even if he made a contribution, he would have nothing to do with it. However, if he took Ma Xianxian with him, it would be much safer. Besides, the CEO of Sun Tang Company had promised that he would not mistreat him. What else could he say? Okay, the military police are here. I'll take Miss Ma away immediately. Wang Zhong pulled Ma Xianxian along as they walked into the alley. At the same time, he called his team members. Ding Ji, you and the others leave immediately. Captain, what's going on? The military police are here. Damn, I know. Don't tell me you like Miss Ma and want to catch her on the spur of the moment. That's exciting. I like it. Ding Ji really liked to joke around. Wang Zhong was speechless. What are you thinking? I've received reliable news that there is a mole in the military police. This kidnapping incident is definitely related to the military police. Let's hurry up and leave. Got it. Ding Ji's eyes turned serious. He gave his team members a look and the group quickly left through the back door. On the street, dozens of military police aircraft chased after the fleeing masked men. However, 2 aircraft stopped and a few military police officers got off. A bunch of trash. Can't even catch a person. One of the captains scolded in a low voice. Captain, what should we do? If those people are caught, they'll definitely rat us out. This group of people originally planned to kidnap Ma Xianxian and hand her over to the boss, but the plan had failed. The captain snorted. Don't worry. I've already placed a weapon on those people. As he spoke, he took out a remote control and gently pressed the red button on it. In an instant, the aircraft that the fleeing bandits were on exploded. The people on it were all dead. The police have reported the latest news. Ma Xianxian, the daughter of Sun Tang Company's CEO, was attacked today and mysteriously disappeared. We hope that those who know the truth can provide effective clues. Ma Huayun, the CEO of Sun Tang Company, said that those who can provide effective information will be rewarded with 100 million energy points. In the patrol ship, Wang Zhong looked at the news and glanced at Ma Xianxian. He knew that this girl was valuable, but he didn't expect her to be so valuable. As expected of the daughter of the CEO of one of the largest companies in the universe. However, Ma Xianxian was not satisfied. Only 100 million. It turned out that this girl looked down on 100 million. Sure enough, why didn't the rich eat meat? Chapter 740. After that, they continued to watch the news. When they saw that the aircrafts the bandits were on had all mysteriously exploded, Wang Zhong and Ma Xianxian were stunned. Sure enough, as your father said, those bandits are just a group of chess pieces. If the mission fails, these people will die, Wang Zhong said. Of course, my father's information can't be wrong. So powerful, how come you were almost caught? Wang Zhong asked. That's because there was a traitor. Well, you will stay in my patrol ship for the next few days. Wang Zhong pointed around. Previously, He had asked Ma Xianxian to change into the patrol uniform and sneak in. The reason he decided to sneak in was because Wang Zhong guessed that since the enemy could make the military and police obey, the warship unit should not be taken lightly. To be on the safe side, he did not tell anyone. Under normal circumstances, no outsiders would come in his patrol ship, so it was absolutely safe here. Ma Xianxian glanced at the small patrol ship with old internal facilities and said, "This is a warship? It's really broken. This is just a low-level patrol ship, the cannon fodder of cannon fodder. What do you think it is? Is it your luxury tourist ship? No, it's just that our myriad TIE Federation is so powerful, but our weapons and equipment are not strong. It's because there hasn't been a war for a long time." Wang Zhong laid on the chair and sighed. "Do you know? In times of peace, corruption is the easiest to breed, and corruption can corrupt anyone. Just like the patrol ship we're on, the cost is only 30 million energy points, but the military's purchase price is 100 million. Who would believe that there's nothing fishy about this?" Ma Xianxian looked at Wang Zhong in surprise and said, "You are just a soldier. How do you know so much about these things?" Wang Zhong coughed. Of course, he learned this from the robot instructor, Lin Wui. At that time, in addition to learning piloting skills, Wang Zhong was also instilled with the knowledge of various types of warships. For example, the cost of the warship, the data of the various types of warships, the comparison of weapons and defense. In theory, these things could be found. However, in the words of instructor Lin Wui, if they relied on computers to check everything, then those soldiers should not be trained. They should just take a computer to the battlefield. "I learned it when I had nothing to do." Wang Zhong shrugged. At this time, the door of the patrol ship opened, and Dinky, Cookie, Alex, and the other team members carefully walked in. After seeing Ma Xianxian, these beasts were all shocked. "It's really Miss Ma, alive!" Ding Ji exclaimed. This feeling was no less than that of modern people when they saw De Mimi, Na Jia, and the others on the road. "Hey, lower your voice." Wang Zhong patted Ding Ji's head impolitely. "Don't embarrass me." Yes, Captain. I was just too surprised." Ding Ji rubbed his head in embarrassment. Ma Xianxian smiled slightly. She looked very beautiful when she smiled. She said, "Actually, you don't have to be like this. Just treat me as an ordinary person. Otherwise, I will be embarrassed." Yes. However, the streets outside are full of people looking for Miss Ma. 100 million. Everyone is crazy. Why are you hiding here? Ding Ji asked. Wang Zhong explained the situation and said seriously, "From now on, everyone will stay in the patrol ship. We will leave in 2 days." They were not stupid. They knew that Wang Zhong was worried that there would be a spy on the patrol ship. Wang Zhong indeed had such thoughts. Although everyone had a good relationship with each other, who could resist the temptation of a large sum of money? Just in case, Wang Zhong continued, "Everyone, don't worry. After this is done, everyone will get 100 million. Ma Xianxian stared and muttered, "I don't think I said that." Wang Zhong automatically ignored her words. Ding Ji and the others were dancing happily. "Let me think. What should I do after I get 100 million? I want to buy a house and live in the capital. I want a book. Cough cough, book a hotel for dinner." Don't think so much. We are all compulsory soldiers. If you want to quit, do it 3 years later. Wang Zhong reminded them. After being interrupted, everyone felt that it was true. They were all compulsory soldiers. If they wanted to quit, they could only do it 3 years later. But no matter what, it was 100 million. They would suffer for 3 years. When the time came, it would be the same. Buzz buzz buzz. At this time, a message came from the patrol ship. Wang Zhong looked at it. It was from Officer Kata. "Miss Ma, I'll have to trouble you to hide for a while. My commanding officer has sent a message," said Wang Zhong. Ma Xianxian nodded. After hiding, Wang Zhong picked up the call. On the patrol ship's main screen, Kata said angrily, "What are you all doing?" Why did you take so long to pick up the call? Officer, we just boarded the ship. Wang Zhong said. I don't want to listen to these excuses. I don't want there to be a next time. Otherwise, all of you will be punished to clean the patrol ships for a week. Kata said coldly. He was in a bad mood today. Ma Xianxian had not been found. Although Ma Xianxian was not lost in their hands, the order from the higher-ups was to send out all the military forces to search for her. Even all the aircraft in the patrol ship had to be sent out to search for Ma Xianxian. Just a moment ago, the higher-ups scolded him. Actually, the reason for scolding him was very funny because there was no reason at all. Even after he was scolded, he still did not know why he was scolded. After thinking for a while, he felt that there was only one possibility. He was being used as a punching bag. Naturally, he also treated Wang Zhong and the rest as punching bags. Kata scolded him again. After feeling better, he said slowly, the higher-ups ordered us to send out all the aircraft to search for Miss Ma. As for you all, patrol the sea route. Understood. Understood. Wang Zhong knew that Kata was still worried that he would find Ma Xianxian. That was why he gave them this inconspicuous mission. After hanging up, Ding Ji and the rest started scolding again. However, Wang Zhong waved his hand and said, Lower your voice. This kind of meaningless scolding is useless. Turn on the communication and send a signal to the station. The patrol ship is about to leave the base. Yes. The communication officer nervously went to prepare. No one knew that Ma Xianxian, who was being looked for by many people, was hiding on a patrol ship. Inside the planet, the CEO of Sun Teng Corporation, Ma Huayun, quickly found the traitor through his network. The deputy director of the military police system had colluded with the interstellar pirates to create this incident. After the incident was exposed, the deputy director committed suicide and the remaining interstellar pirates fled. Many people in the military police system were exposed. This was the ability of Sun Teng Corporation to influence the political and military world. 2 days later, Ma Huayun received a message from Wang Zhong's patrol ship. He said that the surface was ready and they could land. Understood. Wang Zhong nodded. After landing, Wang Zhong immediately went to find a special person. This person would not only give him more benefits, but also make Kata pay the price. Kata, you're finished. Ha 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 ha. After coming out of the person's office, Wang Zhong laughed in his heart. It was a pity that Kata was still kept in the dark. At this moment, he was still thinking of how to deal with Wang Zhong and let him know how powerful he was. Today, the day to hand Ma Xianxian over had finally arrived. According to Ma Huayun, the culprit in the military police system had been dealt with. There was no need to worry. However, just in case, there were many warship soldiers added to this place. It could be seen that Ma Huayun and Admiral Guslio were very close. The admiral actually sent so many warship soldiers to escort her. Tang Bai, Ding Ji, Cook, Alex. Ma Xianxian called them one by one and said gratefully, "Thank you. These few days were the happiest days of my life. I won't forget you." Of course, of course. Miss Ma, send me a message when you're free. Ding Ji smiled. These few days, everyone had added Ma Xianxian as a friend. At this time, a group of soldiers walked over. The person in the lead was someone everyone knew. It was the CEO of Xuanting Corporation, Ma Huayun. "Thank you for saving my daughter." Ma Huayun shook hands with Wang Zhong and the others. She was very emotional. After exchanging some pleasantries, Ma Huayun waved a hand and rewarded everyone with 100 million. This huge sum of money scared everyone to the point that they went offline on the spot. Only Wang Zhong was a big boss in the past, so he didn't care. After saying goodbye to the two, Wang Zhong's new appointment letter came out. The appointment letter stated in detail that Wang Zhong had contributed to the rescue and was promoted from first sergeant to second lieutenant. One had to know that after the rank 1 sergeant major, there was still the rank 2 sergeant major, the rank 3 sergeant major, and the rank 4 sergeant major. And now, he was directly promoted to second lieutenant. What did this mean? He directly skipped a grade. If it was just saving someone, it was impossible to jump 3 ranks in a row. Wang Zhong believed that Ma Huayun definitely had something to do with this. On the other hand, it was also because of the big boss he had met. Other than being promoted to second lieutenant, there was also a huge change in his position. He was promoted from a small patrol ship captain to a high-level patrol ship commander. Commander was Kata's position. Kata would never have dreamt that not only did he not contribute, but his position was also taken away by Wang Zhong. What's going on? Why am I fired? Kata was stunned when he saw the notice from his superior. His face was full of shock and confusion. Tang Bai, it must be Tang Bai's doing. Damn it! Although Kata didn't know what method Wang Zhong had used to pull this stunt, he still didn't know. However, from his point of view, Wang Zhong had learned from his mistakes. So, he concluded that this matter must have something to do with Wang Zhong. The first thing he did was to call his superior, which was his direct superior, Lei Shutian. Sir, I don't understand. Why did you fire me? I didn't do anything wrong. Kata argued. Lei Shutian said seriously, Kata, you purposely transferred Tang Bai's team away when you needed people. Are you trying to suppress your dissidents? I didn't do it. But you're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.